Chapter 2:15. Oh. Xia Chaonan was slightly stunned and thought of a person. You mean White Fox? That's right. Since White Fox can enter and exit the Sun family easily, and he can even force Sun Rongjin to reveal Xia Xiaofang's whereabouts, he must be a capable person. So, I think we can try. Since the Sun family is using an open scheme, we will use a conspiracy, but we won't do anything. Xia Fei nodded. Everyone in the Xia family had heard of the White Fox. Although they didn't think that the White Fox could compete with the Sun family, there was no other way at this moment. However, Xia Chaobei was a little worried. Big brother, if the White Fox messes up, will our Xia family be exposed? So what if he does? So what if he doesn't? Doesn't the Sun family know that we are targeting them? What we have to do is not to leave any evidence for the warrior guild. Xia Chaonan waved his hand and said, actually, what Emperor Xia said makes sense. It's already a fight to the death, but we can let others do it. Xia Chaonan thought about it and felt that Xia Chaonan's words were very reasonable. Suspicion was suspicion, as long as they didn't leave any evidence. Just like Medicine Master Sun said that the quality of the Xia family's medicinal herbs wasn't good. In fact, there were some problems. However, those problems weren't problems in the past. For example, the shape of the medicinal herbs wasn't good, the size wasn't right, etc. If these things were serious, strictly speaking, it wouldn't work. However, this kind of cheap medicinal herbs usually didn't pursue these things. As long as it was effective, it could be sold. However, this year, Medicine Master Sun said that everything should be done according to the purchasing standards issued by the Hong Chamber of Commerce. The Xia family really couldn't do anything. There was no way to complain. Xiao Fei, then contact White Fox and see if he has the confidence to help. The price isn't a problem. Xia Chaonan said. At this moment, it was a desperate attempt. Otherwise, the Xia family would really be finished. Therefore, after the meeting, Xia Fei kept waiting for Xiao Chen's reply. Xia Fei didn't dare to call directly. She was afraid that Xiao Chen was on a mission, so she sent a text message. When Xiao Chen replied to her, it was already an hour later. Xia Fei, why are you looking for me? Xiao Chen asked. It's like this. Xia Fei briefly told Xiao Chen about the problems that happened between the Xia family and the Sun family. Our Xia family just held a family meeting and wanted you to help us deal with the Sun family. Me? Deal with the Sun clan? Xiao Chen was stunned. Then, he was stunned. Consort Xia wasn't joking, right? Where could he go to deal with the entire Sun family? Although Xiao Chen was also very unhappy with Sun Rongjin, Xiao Chen had already painted a skull on him for daring to have designs on Kurlin. However, the key problem was that Xiao Chen now had a lot of enemies. There were Li Shanpao's people, Chao Yuliang, and Old Witch of Xishan. Now that the Sun family had come, Xiao Chen was afraid that he would really burn himself by playing with fire. Don't look at how Xiao Chen was now playing with his enemies, but this was only temporary. No matter how stupid Chao Yuliang was, there would come a day when he would come back to his senses. Besides, he wasn't stupid. He just didn't expect that Xiao Chen, a good-for-nothing, could play with him. That's right. Consort Xia said affirmatively, as long as you can constantly create trouble for the Sun family and restrain them, the Sun family won't have the energy to care about the warrior guild's business. Our Xia family isn't greedy. We just need to keep the remaining share. Create trouble, restrain the Sun family. Although the task was very difficult, Xiao Chen still decided to give it a try. There was no other reason but because he was short of money. So Xiao Chen asked directly, what's the reward? Because this is a long-term task, you definitely won't be happy if I give you a one-time reward. Consort Xia said, as long as you restrain the Sun family, our Xia family will pay Mr. White Fox 10 million every month as a reward. What do you think? 10 million. Xiao Chen was really tempted. Although the Xia clan was a wealthy clan, the price of 10 million per month was not a small amount. The Xia clan was doing business with the Martial Artist Guild, but they were not producing and selling the herbs themselves. To put it bluntly, they were an exclusive supplier. They also needed to cooperate with other clans and herbalists to purchase the herbs and sell them. The annual profit was said to be a few hundred million, but that was just a rumor. No one knew how much it really was. In addition to the Xia family's expenses, the price given to Xiao Chen was probably the limit. Of course, this was also because Consort Xia was familiar with Xiao Chen and had a good relationship. She directly stated her bottom line. Okay, I'll accept this task. Xiao Chen already had a feud with the Sun family, so he didn't mind continuing the feud. If Xiao Chen was asked to deal with an innocent person or a family, Xiao Chen really couldn't do it. He was a person who could distinguish between good and evil. He wasn't the kind of cold-blooded person who would do anything for money. And now, this task of the Xia family was in line with his principles. The Sun family was despicable first. That stupid medicine master Sun also provoked Xiao Chen, and that stupid Sun Rongjin also provoked Xiao Chen. They deserve to be unlucky. Okay, the first month's salary. You can come to my villa when you're free. I'm now at the Xia family in the provincial capital. I'll go back tomorrow. When Consort Xia heard Xiao Chen agree, she breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't know why, but Xiao Chen gave her a special sense of security. Okay. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, he hung up the phone and secretly planned in his heart. How can I make a move to distract the Sun family? It must be a big thing that can make the Sun family unable to take care of the Xia family. It can make them busy for a while. After a night of silence, Xiao Chen went to the morning market street in the morning. He didn't help Tang Tang set up the stall in the past 2 days. Xiao Chen felt a little guilty. The money earned from the fried dough sticks basically fell into Xiao Chen's pocket, and Tang Tang never complained at all. How are you playing these 2 days? Tang Tang asked when she saw Xiao Chen. Don't mention it. I almost died. Xiao Chen shook his head and told Tang Tang about him falling into the sea. But because Tang Tang didn't know his strength, she still said the same thing as the young lady. She said that a patrol boat passed by and saved them. Gosh, why do you always do such thrilling things? I almost couldn't see you. Tang Tang couldn't help but be a little scared after listening. Don't go out in the future. It's good to sell things with me in the morning market street. Isn't this to earn an appearance fee? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Do you think I want to go, appearance fee? Right, Xiao Chen, what are you going to do with so much money? Tang Tang saw that Xiao Chen couldn't leave his old business in 3 sentences. Isn't it to buy medicine? I have to let myself be able to cultivate. Otherwise, what can I do without strength in the future, said Xiao Chen. It turns out to be to buy medicine. In fact, it's not impossible to leave the ranks of martial artists. You see those ordinary people. They may not know the existence of martial artists all their lives, but they are still living happily and freely. Tang Tang said. Do you think I can really leave the circle of the aristocratic families? In fact, up to now, you and I haven't really integrated into the secular world. Every day, there are still some people from the aristocratic families appearing in front of us. Xiao Chen said. That's true. Tang Tang sighed helplessly. Sometimes, you can't do whatever you want. Today, Lin went to the morning market street with her parents as usual. She was grateful and afraid of Xiao Chen. These 2 days, Xiao Chen didn't come, so Lin dared to talk to Tang Tang and send her noodles. If Xiao Chen was here, she would feel terrified. She couldn't help but think of what she saw at the door of her house before, and Xiao Chen said that Sun Rongjin and Red Hair would never come again. Today, Lin thought that Xiao Chen still wouldn't come, so after she finished her work, she happily went to find Tang Tang with a bowl of noodles. On the way, Kerlin accidentally bumped into an old man. In fact, it was Kerlin who bumped into him. It was the old man who bumped into her carelessly. But when the old man sat on the ground, Kerlin was still shocked. Ouch, it hurts. The old man clutched his waist and cried with his teeth clenched. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Kerlin wanted to cry but had no tears. Why was she so unlucky to bump into someone again? I know, miss. It's not your fault. I'm old, and my eyesight isn't very good. I didn't dodge. The old man was quite reasonable. He didn't blame Kerlin, which made Kerlin a little embarrassed. Do you have anything to do? Let me treat you to some noodles. My family sells beef noodles. Kerlin said apologetically. It's okay, miss. You can help me back. My son's car is over there. You can help me get in the car. I don't eat noodles. The old man said. Okay, Grandpa. Kerlin didn't think much about it. She helped the old man up and followed the direction he pointed to. They walked to a small street next to the morning market street. Generally, people who drove to the morning market street would park their cars here. It was basically impossible to drive a car into the morning market street, unless Lu Zhenming was a ruthless person who wasn't afraid of death. Kerlin helped the old man into a white Iveco business car. But as soon as they got in, Kerlin smelled a fragrance. Then, she was dazed and didn't know what happened. The noodles in her hand also fell to the ground. The old man who was bent over instantly stood up straight and pulled down his hood and beard. He turned into red hair. That's right, this old man was disguised by red hair. His purpose was to kidnap Kerlin. Previously, he saw Xiao Chen was also at the morning market street, and he wasn't Xiao Chen's opponent. He knew that he couldn't force himself, so he disguised as the old man and waited for the opportunity. Finally, when Kerlin was alone, he bumped into her. Hee hee. Red hair laughed sinisterly. Then, he dialed Sun Rongjin's number. Young Master Jin, I'm Lu Litzao. I've already caught Kerlin. Should I go to your place now? Yes, come directly to my villa by the sea. Sun Rongjin said. He didn't want the Sun family to know that he kidnapped someone. In the eyes of the Sun family, it was not a proper job. Chapter 216. After the conflict with Zhu Yingxiong, Sun Rongjin's grandfather, Sun Xiaonong, was already somewhat dissatisfied with him. Not only was he injured, but he also lost Lu Jianbiao. According to Sun Xiaonong, the white fox must be dealt with, but Zhu Yingxiong and Xiao Chen should be put aside first. After all, these two people were related to the Songning clan. Offending them would be detrimental to the Sun family's development. After all, the Sun family wasn't the Xie family yet. Although Sun Rongjin was the third-generation successor of the Sun family, it should be known that Sun Rongjin still had two cousins. The reason why the elder cousin, Sun Rongqin, wasn't selected was because he was an illegitimate child. However, the younger cousin was a legitimate descendant of the Sun family, and they weren't that different in age. Therefore, it was better for Sun Rongjin to do this kind of thing secretly. If they caught him and took the opportunity to attack him, Sun Rongjin's points would be deducted in front of Sun Xiaonong. However, Sun Rongjin had a private villa by the sea. He transferred everything there. In his opinion, Xiao Chen was just a down-and-out child. Even if he had some scoundrel friends around him who were loyal to him, it didn't represent the Xiao family. Besides, because of a noodle-selling woman, no matter how protective the Xiao family was, they wouldn't stand up for him. No problem. Red Hair replied repeatedly. So far, the plan was going smoothly. Red Hair drove directly to Sun Rongjin's seaside villa with the unconscious Kerlin. Then, he looked for Sun Rongjin to take credit for it. Red Hair, you did a good job this time. Things went smoothly, which made Sun Rongjin very happy. He said, call Xiaofan in a while. Tell him to come alone. If he brings his scoundrel friends, kill them. I understand. Red Hair quickly nodded and then said flatteringly, then, young Master Jean, do you want to have sex with them first? That chick is so beautiful. That small figure, that small face, tsk. What you said makes sense. Sun Rongji nodded, but he suddenly thought of something and said, call Xiaoli and ask her to come over. This Xiaoli was a mistress that Sun Rongjin kept outside. Red Hair also knew her. They even had a meal together a few days ago. However, Sun Rongjin didn't do her at that time because his lower body was injured and hadn't fully recovered. But today, he was going to use Xiaoli to test his function first. After all, Kerlin was a virgin. It was impossible for her to cooperate with him to test in detail. But Xiaoli could. Sun Rongjin was still thinking of messing with Lin Ke in front of Xiaofan later. If by any chance his functions hadn't recovered by then, he would lose a lot of face. Lin Chen with her. Oh. Redhead was slightly stunned. Although he didn't know why Sun Rongjin called Xiaoli, he still called her, Yen, with R, Wu with, Feng, Hair, Red, Air, R. Red Hair dialed Xiaoli's number and told her about Sun Rongjin's intentions. Xiaoli had also been to the villa by the sea. When she heard that Sun Rongjin wanted to have sex with her, she immediately ran over. Hair, called Xiaoli and told her about Sun Rongjin's intention. Xiaoli had been to the villa by the sea. When she heard that Sun Rongjin wanted to have sex with her, she immediately ran over. It's done, young Master Jean. Hair, nodded at Sun Rongjin. I'm just an appetizer. You know, when I do it with a virgin, I can't enjoy myself to my heart's content. My ability is too strong, so I can't enjoy myself to my heart's content. So, I'm practicing in advance. Sun Rongjin said pretentiously. That's true. Young Master Jean is invincible, brave and mighty. Hair, flattered. I can't do it. I need to rest after one. Young Master Jean is a martial artist, so you are different. Average. Third in the world. Sun Rongjin smiled proudly. Not long after, Xiaoli came. When she saw Sun Rongjin, she threw herself into Sun Rongjin's arms. Young Master Jean, why didn't you look for me for so long? I thought you didn't like me anymore. Of course not. Isn't it because our Sun family is a little busy these days? In order to replace the provincial capital Xia family and become the #1 business family in the province, the connection with the warriors' market naturally falls on me, the successor who is being groomed. So, I'm quite busy. I just successfully did a business yesterday, so I'm free now. Sun Rongjin said with a laugh. Young Master Jean is getting more and more powerful. You can't abandon me when you're rich, right? Xiaoli said coquettishly. That can't be done. When I inherit the throne, this villa will be yours to live in. Sun Rongjin patted Xiaoli and said, come, let's do it first. In a while, I, young master, will have to have sex with someone else's woman. Ah, there's another woman. Xiaoli looked at Sun Rongjin unhappily. Won't I have sex with you first? Sun Rongjin laughed. Then, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Xiaolin said coquettishly and fell into Sun Rongjin's arms. Red Hair, in a while, calculate the time. When it's about time, call Xiaofan. When the time comes, I'll try to have sex with Kerlin a few times. When I'm familiar with it, Xiaofan will also come, and I'll show off in front of him. Sun Rongjin said, feed that little girl Kerlin some aphrodisiac, and it'll be easier for me to show off later. No problem. Red Hair nodded wretchedly. Old woman, it's been half an hour. Kuer still hasn't returned. Could something have happened? Lin Dongliang said to Mother Lin worriedly. Lin went to deliver a bowl of noodles every day, and it would only take her 10 minutes to come back. How could she take such a long time? What could have happened? It's just at the morning market street, and it's just a blink of an eye. There are so many people, so what if we encounter human traffickers? Mother Lin looked indifferent. She put down the bowl and chopsticks in her hand and said, "Hurry up and cook the noodles. There are so many customers. It's been half an hour." According to the past, Kuer should have returned long ago. Lin Dongliang frowned and said, "Go and look for her. If it weren't for the inconvenience of my leg, I would have gone there myself. You love her as if I'm a stepmother. What could have happened? She's already a grown-up." Mother Lin had no choice but to put down the work in her hand and said, "Then you watch over here, don't delay the business. Don't worry. Go ahead. I can handle it alone." Lin Dongliang said. Lin didn't have a mobile phone. Nowadays, there were very few students who didn't have a mobile phone, especially in an aristocratic school like Songning First High School. So, Mother Lin could only look for it. She walked all the way to Tang Tang and Xiao Chen's fried dough stick stall, but she didn't see Lin. Mother Lin was a little worried. She saw Tang Tang and quickly asked, "Tang Tang, have you seen my Kuer? Sister Lin?" Tang Tang was slightly stunned. She shook her head and said, "No, Auntie, she didn't come today." "Didn't come?" Mother Lin was stunned. "That's not right. She said that she came to send you some noodles. It's been more than half an hour, and she hasn't gone back yet. You didn't see her?" "What?" Tang Tang was shocked. "More than half an hour?" Xiao Chen also put down the work in his hand, raised his head, looked at Mother Lin, and said, "Auntie, did you see Lin along the way?" "No." Mother Lin was anxious. How can such a big living person be lost? It's impossible. "Auntie, don't worry. Let's look for her together, and then ask around to see if anyone has seen Lin." Tang Tang said quickly. "Okay." Mother Lin nodded again and again. She also had no idea. Although she was usually very harsh to her daughter and always scolded her, in fact, she still cared about her daughter very much. Her daughter's disappearance also made her panic. Lin was such a big person. It was impossible to say that she was lost. Could it be that she was kidnapped? But in such a busy place like the morning market, it was not easy to kidnap a person, unless it was a trap. But, for what? As Xiao Chen thought about it, he quickly extinguished the fire in the oil pan and found a plastic sheet to cover the stall. Then, he quickly said hello to the guy next to the stall and asked him to take care of it. The stall next to him was selling spicy hot pot. Usually, he had a good relationship with Xiao Chen, so the guy naturally nodded and agreed. Xiao Chen and Tang Tang accompanied Mother Lin to start looking for her. Tang Tang had a photo of Lin in her mobile phone, so she went to the stall to ask if anyone had seen Lin. Finally, Tang Tang found the answer from a middle-aged woman who sold sesame seed cake. "This little girl, I saw her. She was carrying something in her hand, and then she bumped into an old man. The little girl supported the old man and walked to the path over there," said the middle-aged woman. With Lin Kuer's movements, Mother Lin heaved a sigh of relief. From her point of view, it was possible that Lin Kuer was holding on to the old man and was delayed. Hence, she hurriedly walked towards the small path. However, not long after she walked into the path, she saw a bag of spilled beef noodles on the ground on the side of the road, but there was no trace of Lin. Mother Lin was suddenly dumbfounded. Xiao Chen walked over, squatted on the ground, and sniffed the smell on the ground, but he frowned. Lin should be taken away in a car, not on foot. Although Xiao Chen could barely follow them and find them, he didn't know their purpose. Xiao Chen was afraid that if someone coveted Lin's beauty, it would be too late to find them. What should I do? Where did Kuer go? Mother Lin sat on the ground and looked at the beef noodles on the ground in a daze. When Xiao Chen was about to persuade her, his mobile phone suddenly rang. It was a strange number. However, this strange number dialed Xiao Chen's mobile phone number, not White Fox's mobile phone number. Hello, who are you looking for? Xiao Chen hesitated and picked up the phone. He didn't know why, but he had a bad feeling. It seemed that this phone call was related to Kerlin. Is it the useless and abandoned son of the Xiao family, Xiao Chen? On the other side of the phone, a somewhat annoying voice sounded, but Xiao Chen knew who the owner of the voice was as soon as he heard it. Chapter 217. Moreover, Xiao Chen's premonition came true. This call should be related to Kerlin. Red hair? Kerlin is in your hands? Xiao Chen asked directly. The owner of the voice was Red Hair. Sun Rongjin was taught a lesson by Chen Jinpeng yesterday. With Sun Rongjin's petty character, it was impossible for him not to take revenge. Especially with Red Hair fanning the flames, it wasn't surprising for him to take revenge on Kerlin. Huh, smart. Red Hair laughed and said arrogantly. Then, what do you want? Money? Xiao Chen didn't have time to argue with Red Hair, so he asked directly. Money? Hee, isn't it tacky to mention money? Red Hair said disdainfully, I'm young Master Jin's follower now. Do you think I lack money? Does the Sun family lack money? Then, what do you want? Xiao Chen took a deep breath and asked faintly. I don't want money, I want people. Red Hair sneered directly. Xiao Chen, a life for a life. Come to the seaside villa area between Songning City and Lin City by yourself. Remember, you come alone. You can't bring your underlings or helpers. Of course, you can choose not to come, or you can bring those helpers. However, Kerlin won't exist in this world anymore. Sure. Xiao Chen really couldn't bring others for this matter. Even if he was asked to bring someone, he couldn't. Chen Jinpeng was simply a two-faced person. Xiao Chen wouldn't be at ease if he brought such a person to save someone. Great. Red Hair didn't expect Xiao Chen to agree so easily. However, if things went smoothly, it showed his ability as a follower. Naturally, he was happy. If that's the case, come over. I'll send someone to wait for you at the door. I'll go there now. Before I get there, I hope you won't do anything to Kerlin. Otherwise, since you know that my underlings are Zhu Yingxiong and Chen Jinpeng, it'll be easy for them to kill you. Xiao Chen threatened. I won't move now. We'll talk about it when you come. Red Hair didn't care. Now that Xiao Chen was here, could they really get out of here smoothly today? Obviously, it was impossible. Offending young Master Jin meant that one could forget about living. During this period of time following Sun Rongjin, Red Fur also learned of some of Sun Rongjin's ruthless methods. Not to mention the bad things that Sun Rongjin had done to oppress others, Sun Rongjin had already taken a few lives. Therefore, he didn't take Xiao Chen's threat to heart at all. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded and hung up the phone. How was it? Was it the kidnappers? Tang heard some problems. At this moment, Mother Lin also stared at Xiao Chen with her eyes wide open. What the hell is going on? Why did the kidnappers call you? It's the two people who came looking for trouble that day. It's that Red Hair. Xiao Chen didn't explain too much. If he said it this way, Mother Lin should understand. Ah. It's them. These two bastards should be killed 1,000 times. What should we do? Should we call the police? Mother Lin didn't know what to do and said with a sad face. Not yet. The other party asked me to exchange for Kerlin alone. Tang, you take Auntie back first. You don't have to worry. Don't worry, I will definitely exchange for Kerlin. They are coming for me. They just want to force me to go there by kidnapping Kerlin. Xiao Chen comforted. Ah, if that's the case, then go quickly. When Mother Lin heard that these people were coming for Xiao Chen and that Kerlin was accidentally injured, she was a little unhappy. But when she thought that Xiao Chen didn't abandon his daughter, she had a slightly better impression of Xiao Chen. It was too late for Xiao Chen to go back to get his car. His running speed wasn't slow, so he ran directly in the direction of the seaside villa. Red Hair called Xiao Chen after a low roar came from Sun Rongjin's room. After the phone call, he ordered a duo, an attendant that Sun Rongjin brought from home, to pick up Xiao Chen. He waited at the door, waiting for Sun Rongjin to find him so that he could report to Sun Rongjin. Under normal circumstances, hearing a man's low roar meant that the matter was over. However, Red Hair waited for a long time, but Sun Rongjin didn't call him. Could it be that Sun Rongjin was going to do it again? Thinking of this, Red Hair couldn't help but secretly admire young Master Jin. He is really awesome. As he was thinking, he suddenly heard Xiao Li's scream from the room. Ah! Help! The voice was full of panic. Red Hair was shocked. He quickly walked over and knocked on the door and said, "What's wrong? Can I come in?" Ah! What answered him was another scream. Red Hair quickly pushed the door open and walked in. As it was Red Hair outside, Sun Rongjin didn't even lock the door when he was doing it. As soon as he entered, he was greeted by a sea of white. The two huge balls almost made Red Hair drool. Young Master Jin's woman had a good figure. She was the best. However, he knew that young Master Jin was still inside, so he didn't dare look any further. He only asked anxiously, "What's wrong? What happened?" Young Master Jin. Young Master Jin, he. Xiaoli didn't care that she was already exposed. She trembled as she pointed at Sun Rongjin on the bed. What happened to young Master Jin? Red Hair was stunned. Young Master Jin. He's dead. Xiaoli said with a pale face. Huh? Red Hair jumped in fright. Young Master Jin is dead? How did he die? He quickly ran over and checked Sun Rongjin's breath. Indeed, he wasn't breathing. He then looked at young Master Jin's lower body. It was a mess with bright red blood. It was as horrifying as one could imagine. Red Hair said, "What happened?" "I don't know either." After young Master Jin finished, he laid on top of me. I thought he wanted to rest, but he didn't move for a long time. I pushed him down and he became like this. Xiaoli knew Sun Rongjin's background. Now that Sun Rongjin was dead on her bed, how could she be any better? Red Hair was instantly dumbfounded. What the F***ck was going on? Sun Rongjin died just like that? When Xiao Chen came later, who was going to take revenge on Xiao Chen? And the backer that he had just gotten was gone just like that? Red Hair really couldn't accept it. However, what could he do even if he was unwilling? What Red Fur was thinking now was that he had to run away quickly. Otherwise, the Sun family might blame him too. But thinking about it, his distant cousin was Medicine Master Sun's disciple. Could he escape? Red Hair wanted to cry but had no tears. He glared at Xiaoli and said, "Hurry up and put on your clothes. We will go to the Sun family to find someone. Don't destroy the scene. If young Master Jin died by himself, it's not your fault." Oh. Xiaoli also knew that she couldn't escape. She had some fame in the circle. Ever since she followed Sun Rongjin, he helped her take on a few commercials and music videos. She couldn't escape even if she wanted to. Red Hair took a deep breath. He couldn't care less about Xiao Chen. He didn't know the Sun family's contact details, and neither did Xiaoli. He could only go to the warrior guild to find Medicine Master Sunday. He quickly went downstairs with Xiao Li and got into her Mercedes-Benz GLK. They quickly went to the warrior guild. Meanwhile, Sun Rongjin's follower, Duo, was waiting for Xiao Chen at the entrance of the villa complex. Red Hair had already ignored him and directly drove over. Duo waited for a while and saw Xiao Chen running over. He had Xiao Chen's photo, so he naturally recognized Xiao Chen at a glance. However, he was a little puzzled as to why Xiao Chen ran over. Why didn't he drive? However, it was just strange. These things had nothing to do with him. He waved at Xiao Chen and said, "Xiao Chen, right? Young Master Jean has been waiting for a long time. Follow me." "How is Kerlin?" Xiao Chen asked directly. "Young Master Jean definitely won't take her life." Duo knew Sun Rongjin's plan, but he didn't say it clearly. He only said vaguely, "Get in the car. Follow me." Xiao Chen frowned. He heard the hidden meaning in Duo's words. However, he still needed Duo to lead the way, so he didn't say anything and followed Duo into a Volkswagen. The car drove all the way and stopped in front of a very luxurious villa with a sea view. Xiao Chen followed Duo out of the car. Duo didn't remove the car key. Obviously, this was a private villa area, and no one would steal the car. Xiao Chen followed behind Duo and entered the villa and went upstairs. However, when Duo went upstairs, he didn't see Red Hair. He was a little puzzled and didn't know where Red Hair went. He didn't ask much and brought Xiao Chen directly to the door of Sun Rongjin's room. He said, "Young Master Jean, I brought Xiao Chen to you." Duo did not tie Xiao Chen up because he was also a Stage 2 inner force martial artist, which was the same strength as the bodyguard from yesterday. According to his investigation, Xiao Chen was a wastrel who did not even have Stage 1 inner force, so Duo was confident that he could restrain him. "Young Master Jean." There was no response from the room. Duo was stunned and walked into the room. However, the scene in front of him made him jump in fright. He quickly rushed over. Young Master Jean, what happened to you?" Xiao Chen followed behind. When he took a look inside, he was shocked. Sun Rongjin had obviously died from losing his yang energy. This was the aftereffect left by the White Fox last time. However, Sun Rongjin was dead, but Xiao Chen didn't feel at ease at all. Instead, he was even more worried. He was worried about how Sun Rongjin died. Was it because of Kerlin? Then, wasn't Kerlin now? Thinking of this, Xiao Chen couldn't care less about Sun Rongjin's matter. He turned around in the corridor and used his divine sense to search for traces of Kerlin in the villa. Suddenly, Xiao Chen's divine sense locked onto a room. Xiao Chen quickly ran over and kicked the door open. He saw Kerlin's little red face twisting back and forth on the bed. She looked like she was unconscious, but she was drugged. If Xiao Chen's guess was right, it should be an aphrodisiac. However, looking at Kerlin's state, she shouldn't have been violated. In other words, Sun Rongjin died from losing his yang energy with someone else. This made Xiao Chen heave a sigh of relief. He walked in and carried Kerlin. He kicked the window open and jumped out. Chapter 218. As for Duo and Sun Rongjin, Xiao Chen was too lazy to care about them. Originally, he planned to kill Duo together, but Kerlin's situation was very bad. Xiao Chen didn't want to waste time. Kerlin, who was in his arms, twisted on Xiao Chen's body. The drug seemed to have taken effect. Xiao Chen came to the courtyard of the villa. He pondered for a moment and went directly to Duo's car. He planned to leave this place first and then find a quiet place to check on Kerlin's situation. From the situation in front of him, Kerlin must have been drugged when she was drugged with some kind of aphrodisiac. Otherwise, she wouldn't be in a coma. He didn't know if her life was in danger. The car drove all the way out of the seaside villa area. However, before they drove far, Lin's body suddenly twisted in the front passenger seat. She said, "It's hot, it's so hot." Lin woke up. Xiaofan hurriedly glanced at the front passenger seat. At this moment, he didn't know if Lin Kuo was already awake or in a daze. Her body was twisting back and forth on the seat, looking like she was in great pain. Lin? Xiaofan tried to call Lin's name while driving. "Ah, it's hot. I'm so hot." Lin heard Xiaofan's voice in a daze. She answered subconsciously, but her body still twisted involuntarily. "It's so uncomfortable, it's so hot," Xiaofan frowned. In the past, he had only read about it on television and in novels. It was said that people who had been drugged with some aphrodisiac would explode and die if they did not release it within a specified period of time. Although this might be an exaggeration, he didn't know if it would bring harm to the body and leave any sequelae. Xiaofan had no choice but to drive the car in the direction of the seaside. He found a place where there was no one and stopped. Only then did Xiaofan turn his head to look at Lin Kuo. However, from the looks of it, Lin Kuo should have already woken up. She had some self-awareness, and was not completely without any thoughts. Lin. Xiaofan subconsciously changed the name. "Ah. I'm hot." Lin answered, "I'm so tired." Although Xiaofan was an awesome high-level cultivator, he was helpless at the moment. He hadn't studied how to deal with the aphrodisiac. According to the elder heaven ancestor, Xiaofan gave her a potion made of medicinal dregs. It should be able to solve the problem. But the key problem was that Xiaofan didn't have the potion with him now. Even if he went back to brew it, it wouldn't be done in a short time. "It's so hot." It seemed that the drug was starting to get stronger. Lin actually began to pull on her body. It seemed that she wanted to tear off the clothes on her body. "Elder heaven ancestor, what should I do now?" Xiaofan smiled bitterly. He had a feeling that he couldn't cook without rice. What to do? Push it down. Push it down and it'll be fine, said the elder heaven ancestor. Cough cough. Xiaofan looked at Lin Kuo's small face that had already become flushed red, and her alluring figure that was twisting about. He couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Old Sky's suggestion seemed to be pretty good. However, Xiaofan wasn't a person who took advantage of others. If he wanted to deal with Lin, Xiaofan would have done it when he rescued her from the hands of that playboy. He wouldn't have to wait until now. However, Lin Kuo's next action caused Xiaofan to jump in fright. Because, she actually tore open her collar, revealing her fair chest. Even though there was a bra covering it, the faintly discernible ravine still caused Xiaofan's breathing to quicken. "Lin Kuo, quickly stop. It's hot. Help me." Not only did Lin not listen to Xiaofan's dissuasion, but she tore her collar even harder. She also wanted to ask Xiaofan for help. The collar was torn open, but the buttons on the clothes were not easy to unbutton. Lin tore it even harder. Only a rip sound was heard. Lin's school uniform was directly pulled open, revealing the small vest inside. "AI." Xiaofan sighed and said to the elder heaven ancestor angrily, "Hey, do you have a solution or not? Didn't you say that cultivators are very bad *SS? Why can't you even solve this?" "Ahem, well, you just follow the acupuncture points I said and inject your primordial qi into her body to dissolve the poison," said the elder heaven ancestor. "In other words, my primordial qi can detoxify?" Xiaofan was a little surprised after listening. This kind of aphrodisiac is only the lowest level of poison. Naturally, it is easy to dissolve, but poison is not so easy. Don't think that you can detoxify it. You have nothing better to do than eat poison. The elder heaven ancestor reminded. "I am not a fool." Xiaofan was a little speechless. Who would eat poison for no reason? Isn't that stupid? What should I do now? The elder heaven ancestor opened his mouth and told Xiaochen the names of several acupuncture points. Xiaochen followed the instructions and began to circulate the primordial qi in his body and transferred it to Kurlin's body. However, when Xiaochen's primordial qi had just entered Kurlin's body, Kurlin suddenly shouted, "Ah, hug me, hurry." Lin Kur's alluring voice caused the lust that Xiaochen had just suppressed to burst forth with a whoosh. What's wrong with her? Why does it feel more serious? Xiaochen quickly asked the elder heaven ancestor. Kurlin's eyes were blurred as she looked at Xiaochen. She actually reached out and began to pull off the clothes on Xiaochen's body. Gosh! Xiaochen grabbed Kurlin's hand and said, "Elder heaven ancestor, what's the situation? You use your primordial qi to dissolve the aphrodisiac. The effect is basically the same as that feeling. After all, it can only be dissolved if there is a feeling." The elder heaven ancestor said, "So it is normal for her to shout." Pfft! Xiaochen was a little speechless. So this was the reason. Well, then let's continue. With Xiaochen's help, Lin Kur's cries rose and fell continuously, causing Xiaochen's heart to be in a mess. Finally, under the loud shout of Kurlin, she began to calm down, but it seemed that because she was too tired, she closed her eyes as if she had fallen asleep. However, the fact that Lin Kur had fallen asleep dispelled Xiaochen's awkwardness. Otherwise, if Kurlin spoke to him, he really didn't know what to say. That would not be good for either of us. Phew. Xiaochen let out a long breath and wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. He pondered for a moment, took off his chef's uniform, and covered Kurlin's body with it. Then, he started the car, but he didn't know where to go. With Kurlin's current appearance, Xiaochen really didn't know whether he should go back to the morning market street or not. If Mother Lin saw him like this, it wouldn't be good if she thought that he did something to Kurlin. Even if she didn't think that he did it, it wouldn't be good if she thought that something had happened to Kurlin during the kidnapping. Just when Xiaochen didn't know where to go, the powerful divine sense of a cultivator suddenly made him turn his head, and he saw Kurlin's eyes wide open, staring at him without blinking. This made Xiaochen suddenly shocked. When did Kurlin wake up? Xiaochen hurriedly stopped the car and said, "Kurlin, you woke up." What's wrong?" There was a trace of confusion in Kurlin's eyes. She seemed to have had a dream that she was ashamed to talk about. However, it didn't seem to be a dream. At first, because of the effect of the knockout powder, she didn't know anything. But later, the effect of the knockout powder gradually dissipated. Although she hadn't woken up, she was still conscious when she was in a daze. So, she still had some impression of tearing her clothes, and asking Xiaochen to help her made her even more embarrassed. When she saw Xiaochen looking over, she didn't dare to look directly at Xiaochen's eyes, so she quickly lowered her head. In fact, when Xiaochen helped her detoxify, she was already awake, but in front of Xiaochen, she screamed like a bad girl, so Kurlin didn't know how to face Xiaochen, so she pretended to be asleep. When Xiaochen started the car, Kurlin dared to open her eyes. As a result, not long after she opened her eyes, she was discovered by Xiaochen. She suddenly felt a little nervous. When she thought of the previous things, her face was a little hot. She could only pretend to be confused and ask herself what's wrong. "You don't remember?" Xiaochen was slightly stunned. This Kurlin wouldn't be foolishly abducted, right? I don't know. Kurlin began to play dumb. In fact, she remembered clearly what she said and did before, but she didn't dare to admit it. Such an embarrassing thing was actually done by herself. This made Kurlin unable to face it at all. At this moment, she couldn't wait to find a hole to hide in. However, she misunderstood Xiaochen. Xiaochen was referring to the kidnapping, but Kurlin thought that Xiaochen was talking about her tearing her clothes to ask for help. He. Xiaochen just smiled and said, "You were kidnapped." Kurlin was slightly stunned. She immediately remembered that she was taken to a car by an old man, and then she didn't know anything after that. After that, I was saved by Xiao Chen. It was done by Sun Rongjin and Red Hair. Xiao Chen continued, after they caught you, they called me and asked me to exchange you. Ah, then you saved me? What about them? Lin breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that he didn't mean to make fun of her, and he didn't mention the matter of her tearing her clothes before. Lin was relieved and asked. Sun Rongjin is dead, and Red Hair ran away, said Xiao Chen. Ah? Dead? Lin was suddenly shocked. She looked at Xiao Chen in horror. You killed him? He died by himself. I heard that he got wind on horseback. Xiao Chen said, he was already dead when I got there. That's why I brought you out so smoothly. Wind on horseback? Lin wasn't ignorant. She suddenly blushed after hearing it, but she didn't believe it. In her mind, it must be Xiao Chen who killed Sun Rongjin. Thinking of this, she suddenly felt terrified. Chapter 219. Lin thought, even if Sun Rongjin is a bad person, but Xiao Chen doesn't take human life seriously. It's an unsightly disease. Xiao Chen thought that Lin didn't understand, so he explained. I know. Lin nodded and said, thank you, for saving me again. Lin's heart was full of gratitude to Xiao Chen. If it weren't for him, I would have encountered trouble again and again. I'm afraid I would have been harmed by bad people long ago, and my innocence wouldn't have been kept until now. However, Xiao Chen's actions today made her somewhat puzzled. Is Xiao Chen really not interested in me at all? Before I took the initiative to tear my clothes, so I called him, so tempted him, but Xiao Chen didn't do anything to me. Doesn't he like me? In school, he publicly declared that he wanted to protect me, but today is such a good opportunity, but he didn't do anything to me. Is he playing hard to get, or is he really a gentleman? Or, he isn't interested in me at all? However, if one were to say that Xiao Chen was a gentleman, even Lin Kuo found it funny. Xiao Chen was a silkpants who killed without batting an eyelid, how could he be associated with a gentleman? However, if one were to say that he was loosening the reins only to grasp them better, it did not seem to be necessary. Could it be that Xiao Chen really has no interest in me? Thinking of this, Lin began to worry about gains and losses again. Many times, girls were like this. When the person who obviously liked you suddenly didn't like you, she was a little uncomfortable. Especially when Lin was ready to let Xiao Chen pursue her in the future, the result, you're welcome. It's just a piece of cake, and I didn't do anything. Xiao Chen said, now, where are we going? Lin wanted to say that they were going back to the morning street, but she suddenly found that her clothes were torn like this. There was no way to go back. Her mother would definitely ask questions when she saw it. Thinking about it, Lin felt a headache. Thinking of this, Lin hesitated and said, Xiao Chen. Can you send me home? I want to change my clothes. I definitely can't go to school like this. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. But, you should call your mother first. She is worried about you. Lin nodded quickly, but she suddenly felt a little worried. She didn't know what to say on the phone and how to explain. Xiao Chen, you said. How should I tell my mother? Xiao Chen thought about it and said, just say that you met the police on your way and saved you. Sun Rongjin was taken away. Lin thought about it and felt that this reason was good. At least, her mother wouldn't worry anymore. But she suddenly remembered that she didn't have a mobile phone, so she looked at Xiao Chen. Can I use your mobile phone? Of course. Xiao Chen gave the phone to Lin. After taking Xiao Chen's phone, Lin dialed her mother's phone number. However, when she saw that the dialing options actually included a card 1 and a card 2, she was suddenly stunned. She looked at Xiao Chen and suddenly felt that it was a bit unbelievable. You still use a counterfeit phone? Although Lin didn't have an iPhone, she had seen other people use it in school. She knew that Xiao Chen's phone didn't have a dual-card configuration. If it could hold 2 cards, it was definitely a counterfeit phone. The long standby signal is good, Xiao Chen said. I'll give you the apple that I had previously. Ah. I don't want it. Lin was shocked. She didn't expect Xiao Chen to give her something, so she rejected it subconsciously. Xiao Chen had only said this out of desperation. His old iPhone was useless at home, and young mistress and Jean Bebe clearly did not lack cell phones. That was why he said that he would give it to Lin Kuo. It's useless for me to keep it, Xiao Chen said. I'll bring it to you tomorrow. I don't want it. Lin shook her head. If I want something from you, my mother will scold me to death, just don't let her find out. In this way, it'll be convenient for me to contact you in the future, Xiao Chen said. You? Why are you looking for me? Lin subconsciously shrank back, but she suddenly thought that Xiao Chen didn't like her, right? Why is it like this again? Could it be that he is really a gentleman? Well, if you go missing again, can't I give you a call? Then I don't have to look for you so helplessly. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Lin always thought that he had an ulterior motive for her, but Xiao Chen's current situation was really not suitable for him to find a girlfriend. How could he tell Miss? Lin listened to Xiao Chen's words and was slightly stunned, but she didn't speak anymore. It seemed that Xiao Chen was very concerned about her, so Lin didn't know what to say, and it was not appropriate for her to refuse. So, there was silence in the car. Xiao Chen didn't speak, and Lin didn't speak either. The two just sat quietly. Xiao Chen drove all the way to Shanty Town, near Lin's home. Before Xiao Chen knew that Lin lived here, but he didn't know where exactly, so he asked, Lin, where is your home? Get off the car and walk back. You wait for me here. Lin didn't want Xiao Chen to go home with her. She didn't know why. In short, she was a little afraid of Xiao Chen. How do you go back like this? Xiao Chen looked at Lin's clothes and couldn't help but smile bitterly. If you go back like this, wouldn't there be rumors the next day? Lin remembered that her clothes were torn. She had to nod and point the direction to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen drove the car into Shanty Town, but what surprised Xiao Chen was that Lin's home was actually not far from the place where he killed Lu Jianbiao last time. It was really a coincidence. However, Xiao Chen didn't think much about it. He wouldn't have thought that Lin was afraid of him because she saw him kill Lu Jianbiao. Lin got off the car and rushed into the house. Xiao Chen shook his head helplessly and waited at the door. Not long after, Lin Kuo came out. She had changed into a new set of clothes. Although it was no longer her school uniform, it was still plain. The school uniform had been torn, and even if it was mended, it would not be so fast. This dress is good. It looks more pleasing to the eye than the school uniform. You wear the school uniform every day, so you have a little visual fatigue. Xiao Chen made a joke. Lin's pretty face blushed. In fact, she knew that she was good-looking, so she deliberately didn't dress up. It was because it was easy to be targeted by those bullies. Even if she wore the school uniform, there were so many people who wanted to harm her. However, this was said by Xiao Chen. Lin suddenly felt that Xiao Chen seemed to be interested in her, and she was a little happy. At least she didn't think too much when she asked him to pursue her. Then, why didn't you do anything to me before, but you helped me detoxify? Lin actually couldn't figure it out. When she was in Songning First High School, Xiao Chen was rumored to be a lecherous ghost. He loved every woman he met and often went to nightclubs and other places. However, Kerlin found that Xiaochen seemed to be a little different from what she heard. Therefore, she plucked up the courage to ask such a question. In fact, she also wanted to know if Xiaochen liked her. N? Xiaochen was suddenly stunned. Nothing? Why does Kerlin ask me this question? Does she want me to not do anything? No, nothing. Kerlin's courage just now was gone. She was somewhat incoherent and panicked. Then what's the difference between me and Sun Rongjin? I think you certainly don't want that, right? Xiaochen said. Oh. Kerlin suddenly found that Xiaochen was a bit noble. It seemed that he had been helping her and didn't ask her to do anything. In the past, Kerlin only heard bad things about Xiaochen, so she naturally thought that Xiaochen was a bad person. But now, after having more contact with Xiaochen, Kerlin found that Xiaochen didn't seem to be like this. Right, you haven't called just now. Xiaochen pointed to the mobile phone that Kerlin put on the car's center console. Before Xiaochen wanted to give Kerlin his mobile phone, he scared Kerlin so much that she forgot to call. Ah! Kerlin also suddenly remembered. She quickly picked up the mobile phone and dialed her mother's number. Mother Lin and Tang Tang had been waiting for Xiaochen's news. Mother Lin's mobile phone rang. She took it out and saw that it was a strange number, but Tang Tang, who was on the side, recognized that it was Xiaochen's mobile phone number, so she quickly gestured to Mother Lin to answer. This is Xiaochen's number. There may be news. Hello? Xiaochen. Is there any news from Kuer? Mother Lin quickly picked up the phone. Mom, it's me. Kerlin said, it's all right. I met the police on the way, and they saved me. Then I met Xiaochen. My clothes were dirty by the kidnappers, so we went back to change clothes. Now we are going to school. Ah, it's all right. It's all right. When Mother Lin heard that Kerlin was saved by the police, she immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Thank God, those evil people have been punished this time. Mom, if there's nothing else, I'll go to school first. It's too late. Kerlin said. Okay, then you go. Mother Lin said. Well, Mom, give the phone to Sister Tang. Xiaochen wants to talk to her. Kerlin saw Xiaochen and gestured for Tang Tang to answer the phone. Xiaochen took the phone, and Tang Tang's voice came over the phone. Xiaochen, how is it? You go to school first. I'll go there directly. It's all right. I'll tell you in detail when we get to school, Xiaochen said. Okay. Tang Tang responded, knowing that Mother Lin was next to her, and Xiaochen might not be able to say much. Xiaochen drove to No. 1 middle school with Kerlin. He dropped her off at the gate. When he was about to turn around and leave, he saw a fat man coming down from an RV. The fat man ran over madly, and then kicked the front of Xiaochen's RV. Suddenly, Kerlin and Xiaochen, who just got off the car, were stunned. Chapter 220. Especially Xiaochen, he was stunned. F***ck, you dare to drive my boss's woman? Do you want to die? Zhu Yingxiong roared. Kerlin looked at Zhu Yingxiong in shock. Zhu Yingxiong, what are you doing? And Kerlin, boss treats you well. He saved you from danger several times. How can you sit in someone else's car? F***ck, it's fine if it's a good car, but you want to sit in a car that costs more than 100,000? Where do you want boss to put his face? Boss's car is at least a few million yuan. Zhu Yingxiong was really annoyed. This Kerlin actually got into someone else's car without saying a word? Xiaochen listened for a long time and finally understood why Zhu Yingxiong exploded. He thought that Kerlin had cheated on him. Xiaochen pushed open the car door and was about to get out. However, just as he opened the door, Zhu Yingxiong ran over and reached out to pull Xiaochen out of the car. You dare to protect my boss's woman. You're quite something. That. Old Zhu, are you crazy? Xiao Chen was speechless. Huh? Zhu Yingxiong heard Xiao Chen's voice and was stunned. When he saw Xiao Chen in the car, he was stunned and then extremely embarrassed. That. Boss, it's you. Huh, didn't I miss you? So I came to see you. Xiao Chen was speechless. Old Zhu, you're digging a hole for me. I just got a car and you ruined it. Huh, I'm just too excited. Zhu Yingxiong smiled awkwardly and said, by the way, boss, have you already settled the matter with sister-in-law Kerlin? Kerlin's face suddenly turned red. She looked at Xiao Chen in a panic and said, I'll go to school first, yes. Xiao Chen nodded. Huh, don't be embarrassed. Zhu Yingxiong misunderstood and laughed. Boss, aren't you too awesome? Let's not talk about this. Get in the car first. Xiao Chen gestured to Zhu Yingxiong. Oh? What's the matter? Zhu Yingxiong was stunned for a moment. Then, he put on a serious expression and sat in Xiao Chen's car. Boss, why did you buy such a car? It's so F***king short that I can't even get in. This car belongs to Sun Rongjin, Xiao Chen said. Sun Rongjin? Why is his car with you? Zhu Yingxiong was stunned. Sun Rongjin is dead. I killed him. Xiao Chen said faintly, if the Sun family finds you, you have to find a way to cover it up. Don't let them connect White Fox with me. D***mn, boss, you're so powerful. You've already killed Sun Rongjin? It's too fast. Zhu Yingxiong said, boss, I realized that you weren't so fierce before. Why didn't Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng die? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. The Sun family is different from them. If Sun Rongjin dies, it's fine. If Chao Yuliang dies, it's a big deal. That's true. Don't worry, boss. If they find me, I definitely won't sell you out. Zhu Yingxiong said, but boss, what happened to you and Kerlin? Kerlin was kidnapped by Sun Rongjin. As Xiao Chen said this, he told Zhu Yingxiong what happened. It turned out to be like this, but the hero saved the beauty. Even if it wasn't done, it was almost done. Zhu Yingxiong said. Alright, let's not talk about this. I'm going back. Xiao Chen waved his hand and said. Alright, I'm leaving. Boss, I will help you continue to protect Kerlin. Zhu Yingxiong got out of the car and left with his fat body. Xiao Chen shook his head and drove to Songning Second High School. Kerlin stepped on the bell to enter the school, and Xiao Chen was definitely late. However, Xiao Chen had the protection of the miss, so Director Su would give him some face. However, when he was halfway there, Xiao Chen's cell phone rang. Xiao Chen glanced at the caller ID. It was Xia Fei. Generally, if there was no important situation, Xia Fei would contact him with a text message. Xia Fei, you speak. Xiao Chen picked up the phone. Mr. White Fox, that. I heard. Sun Rongjin is dead? When Xia Fei received the news, she was also surprised. She didn't expect such a big thing to happen to the Sun family, and the Xia family didn't expect White Fox to make such a big move. However, in addition to being surprised, there were some doubts. Was it a coincidence, or was it really done by White Fox? If it was really done by White Fox, then the Xia family had to reconsider their relationship and strategy with White Fox. This person was definitely a ruthless person. This kind of person shouldn't be as simple as a mission trial taker. He should have a special identity. And he died in a woman's bed. Xiao Chen said faintly. Xia Fei's question was actually a test. The Xia family asked her to ask that. If White Fox expressed doubts or surprise, then it wasn't White Fox who killed him. However, Xiao Chen's answer at the moment undoubtedly proved that he was an insider. What did this mean? Perhaps this matter should be related to White Fox. The Xia family knew the news early because they had a spy in the Sun family. When such a big thing happened to the Sun family, the spy naturally informed the Xia family immediately. However, White Fox didn't have a spy. Not only did he know that Sun Rongjin was dead, but he also knew how he died. How could Xiaofan not be shocked? Beside her, the other Xia family members were the same. Is it Mr. White Fox's doing? Xiaofan asked tentatively. He and I originally had a little conflict. Xiao Chen said, however, is your Xia family well informed? We have our own information channels. Mr. White Fox, thank you very much. Since such a big thing happened to the Sun family, at least they won't keep an eye on the warrior guild for the next few days. We can take the opportunity to send a few batches of herbs over. Xiaofan said. Taking someone's money to eliminate a disaster. It's nothing. Xiao Chen said faintly, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. I'm driving. Alright, Mr. White Fox. Come to the provincial capital when you have time. You can be a guest at our Xia family. Xiaofan invited. We'll talk about it later. Xiao Chen didn't want to be too close to the Xia family. It was fine to maintain cooperation, but it wouldn't be good if his real identity was exposed. That's fine. I'll go back tonight. You can come to the villa to find me. Xiaofan didn't force him. After all, the Xia family and White Fox weren't that close yet. It was normal for White Fox to reject her invitation. Xiaofan hung up the phone. The Xia family's faces changed. White Fox could kill without leaving a trace. It was really amazing. According to the Xia family's information channels, the Sun family didn't know why Sun Rongjin died. Sun Rongjin's body was still in good condition. It was impossible for him to die of asphyxiation at such a young age. However, even if they didn't believe it, Medicine Master Sun had come and checked the scene. The final conclusion was that he died of asphyxiation. This result was thought-provoking. Xiaofan, you're the closest to Hero White Fox. What do you think? Xia Chaonan had changed the way he addressed Xiao Chen to Hero White Fox instead of White Fox. Since Mr. White Fox knows how and where Sun Rongjin died, I'm afraid he's really the culprit. Xiaofan said, I suspect that Mr. White Fox isn't as simple as a lone cultivator. He came from a big sect. That's what I suspected before. Xia Chaonan nodded. But now it seems that even if he's a disciple from a big sect, he's still the most outstanding disciple. Our Xia family should change our attitude towards the White Fox hero. Becoming good friends with the White Fox hero will be the greatest help to our Xia family. Just a relationship of interest is very unreliable. We gave Hero White Fox 10 million. What if the Sun family gave Hero White Fox 20 million? That's right. Xia Chaonan nodded after listening and said, interest is the most unreliable. Our Xia family used to be the biggest supplier to the warriors' market in the province. But now, because of Medicine Master Sun, we've been pushed aside. In the end, isn't it because Medicine Master Sun can bring more benefits to the warriors' market than our Xia family? Xiaofan, how's your relationship with Hero White Fox? Xia Chaonan suddenly thought of something and asked. It's alright. Xiaofan was stunned and then said, but it's just a familiarity. With our relationship, it's impossible for Mr. White Fox to not change sides. What I mean is, Xiaofan, what's your impression of Hero White Fox? After all, you're not young anymore. That kid from the Wang family isn't a good person either. Our marriage only exists in name. It's time for you to find your own happiness. Xia Chaonan said. Xiaofei's face suddenly turned red. Her father's meaning couldn't be more obvious. He wanted her to be with White Fox, but did White Fox like her? Did she like White Fox? Father, if the Wang family finds out. Xia Huang couldn't help but be a little worried after listening. Xia Huang was in charge of the Xia family's business in the secular world. He had more contact with the Wang family. If this matter affected the business in the secular world, it would be one disaster after another for the Xia family. The Xia family didn't have a medicinal herb distribution network in the secular world, but the Wang family did. The two families had been cooperating well over the years. If it was suddenly broken, the Wang family would certainly be affected, but with the current situation of the Xia family, it would be a heavy blow. Release some news to the Wang family, saying that we are cooperating with hero White Fox. Then, Sun Rongjin of the Sun family will die immediately. Xia Chaonan smiled and said indifferently. Xia Huang was stunned. Can we tell this to the Wang family? Your second uncle's words are right. We can let the Wang family know. If they know, they will only be more afraid. They won't dare to speak about it unless they don't want to live anymore. Those trial warriors aren't easy to deal with. If you provoke them, they will kill you. Xia Chaonan said, didn't you see what happened to Sun Rongjin? Xia Fei pursed her lips. In fact, this matter didn't need to be told to the Wang family. Wang Xiongzhuang was already very afraid and respectful of White Fox, but Xia Fei couldn't say this. After all, she promised Wang Xiongzhuang to keep it a secret. Chapter 221. Yes. Emperor Xia nodded quickly. In fact, he also hoped that his sister would be happy. If she really married White Fox, it would be a kind of happiness for his sister and a kind of luck for the Xia family. Xiao Fei, tell me the truth. Now, are you still a virgin? The one who spoke was Xia Fei's aunt, Xia Chaoxin. She usually didn't speak during family meetings. When she was young, her face was disfigured due to an accident. Therefore, she usually focused on practicing martial arts. No. Xia Fei's face turned red as she stuttered. Then I don't know if White Fox will value her. Xia Chaoxin sighed. However, don't count on hero White Fox to treat Xiaofei as the only one. He's an outstanding talent of the younger generation. His sect will definitely find a good marriage partner for him. He'll be a link between him and Xiaofei, Xia Chaobei said. In fact, the Xia family wasn't surprised that Xia Fei wasn't a virgin. After all, they didn't know that Wang Xiongzhuang was a natural eunuch. Even if Wang Xiongzhuang had an affair outside, it was impossible for him to not have a relationship with Xia Fei, right? Xiao Fei, your second uncle is right. After all, you are a married person. It's enough for White Fox to like you. Don't think about monopolizing things like this. Xia Chaonan said. Xia Fei nodded shyly. The Xia family also breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that Xia Fei also had that kind of feelings for White Fox. Otherwise, she wouldn't have such an expression. In fact, Xia Chaonan was really afraid that Xia Fei wouldn't agree. If that was the case, Xia Chaonan really couldn't bear to force her. He had already forced her to marry someone she didn't like once. Now it seemed that Xia Fei was very willing to do it a second time. Alright, then our Xia family's next step is to be on good terms with White Fox and deal with the Sun family. Xia Chaonan made the final decision. Xia Chaobei didn't object either. This was something that was beneficial to the Xia family. It was impossible for him to disagree. Previously, he opposed Xia Xiaofeng's all-out war with the Sun family because it was inconsistent with the Xia family's interests. However, from the looks of it now, it was all thanks to Xia Chaobei's opposition. Otherwise, if the Xia family went all out to start the war, and the Sun family didn't manage to kidnap Xia Xiaofeng, the relationship between the two families would really be irresolvable. At that time, the warrior guild wouldn't be biased towards the Xia family anymore. They might even cancel all of the Xia family's supplies. The Sun family in a neighboring city. The meeting room of the Sun family was filled with smoke. All the prominent members of the Sun family were sitting there, including Sun Rongjin's grandfather, Sun Xiaonong, Sun Rongjin's father, Sun Yoli, Sun Rongjin's uncle, Sun Yuming, Sun Rongjin's cousin, Sun Rongqin, and Sun Rongji, Sun Rongjin's youngest son. However, Sun Yoli's youngest son, Sun Ronghao, was not there because he was too young. The one sitting next to Sun Xiaonong was Medicine Master Sunday. "You Kai, tell me, what's going on?" Sun Xiaonong was shocked. Sun Rongjin had always been trained by him as the third-generation successor. Although Sun Rongqin was the eldest grandson, he was an illegitimate son. Before he was brought back, Sun Rongjin had already been appointed as the successor. Now, Sun Rongjin suddenly died. This made Old Man Sun a little unable to accept it. How could he die? Sun Yukai was Medicine Master Sunday. He had already carefully checked Sun Rongjin's body. He was a warrior medicine master, so he was not inferior to those professional forensic doctors. He said, "Uncle, I've checked. Rongjin indeed died of a stroke on a horse. As for how it happened, it might be because he was injured by the Zhu family's Zhu Yingxiong last time. He didn't fully recover, so he overindulged in debauchery. That's why he died." Sun Xiaonong frowned. "Zhu Yingxiong? Humph, I won't let him off. However, that red-haired guy who instigated him, and that Shaoli, Yukai, get rid of them." "Yes. Father." Sun Yoli was also very sad. Sun Rongjin was the focus of the family's training, but now, it would definitely fall on the eldest family's children. Whether it was Sun Rongqin or Sun Rongji, they were both older than Sun Ronghao. The successor would definitely not fall on Sun Ronghao. Therefore, he vented his hatred on red-haired guy and Shaoli. He couldn't touch Zhu Yingxiong's Zhu family for the time being, but killing these two people was a piece of cake. "Don't blame red-haired guy. I was the one who recommended him to Rongjin." Medicine Master Sun said faintly, "Red-haired guy is also familiar with the warrior guild's business." Although it was a very plain sentence, there was no doubt in his words. In the future, let red-haired guy help Rongqin. The warrior guild's business will fall on Rongqin's shoulders. Sun Xiaonong immediately said with a hammer. Although Medicine Master Sun was his junior, he was not his biological son after all. Moreover, his status was also there, so Sun Xiaonong respected his opinion very much. Although Sun Yoli was somewhat unwilling, he didn't dare to go against his cousin. The Sun family still had to rely on Sun Yukai. Without Sun Yukai, the Sun family wouldn't be what it was today. "I'm going to kill Shaoli right now." Sun Yoli nodded and stood up to leave. There was no point for him to stay here. In fact, he also knew that Sun Rongjin's death couldn't be blamed on anyone else. Who else could be blamed? At school, classes were already starting, but Xiao Chen hadn't come yet. Cheng Menjing was a little puzzled. Where did Xiao Chen go? Why did Tang Tang come back, but Xiao Chen didn't? Bei, where did Xiao Chen go? Cheng Menjing asked. "I don't know. Bei isn't my cousin-in-law's tracking device," Jean Bei said. "How about I send him a text message and ask?" "Forget it. Judging from Tang Tang's appearance, she's probably fine." Cheng Menjing shook her head. But after thinking for a while, she said, "No, I have to know the servant's whereabouts at all times." Ha. Jean Bei took out her phone and wrote a text message. She said, "Cousin Menjing wants to know the whereabouts of my cousin-in-law." After sending the text message, Cheng Menjing glanced at Jean Bei's phone unconsciously. She immediately flew into a rage. "What nonsense are you sending? What cousin-in-law? Didn't I say the servant? But Bei calls him cousin-in-law." Jean Bei said innocently, how about you send it yourself next time? Humph. Cheng Menjing didn't say anything else. Xiao Chen was driving back to school when he received Jean Beibei's text message. He replied casually, Lin was kidnapped. I rescued her and will be back at school soon. Xiao Chen didn't want to hide such a thing. She knew it, too, but he didn't tell her to keep it a secret. Jean Beibei received the message and gave the phone to Cheng Menjing. Cheng Menjing glanced at it and snorted. Rescued Lin? Why is he so meddlesome? Does he think he is a hero who can take care of everything? However, that being said, Cheng Menjing was still a bit worried about Lin. She was relieved to see that Xiao Chen had rescued her. Hee. Cousin, are you jealous? Jean Beibei said with a smile. Why would I be jealous? How ridiculous. He can do whatever he wants. It has nothing to do with me. Cheng Menjing snorted. Cousin Menjing, why are you asking where he is? Jean Beibei didn't let it go. Are you done yet? Trying to trick me? Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Beibei. I'm not so easily fooled. Save it. Hee. Jean Beibei chuckled. There was no telling what she was laughing at. When Xiao Chen returned to school, the first class was already over. Seeing that Xiao Chen was fine, Tang Tang waved at him and said, Xiao Chen, you're back. Are you okay? I'm fine. Sun Rongjin is dead, Xiao Chen said in a low voice. Dead? Tang Tang was dazed. How did he die? I heard that before he ravaged Lin Kuer, he wanted to practice it, so he did it with a young model. In the end, he died immediately. Xiao Chen said, maybe his kidneys are too weak. Puff. Tang Tang was a little speechless after listening. Really? Isn't this way of death a bit too weird? It's true. When I went there, Sun Rongjin was already dead, and Red Hair ran away. So, I brought Lin back. Xiao Chen didn't say that he killed Sun Rongjin. After all, he didn't want Tang Tang to know these dark things. Although Tang Tang sometimes behaved like a tough woman, she was a girl after all. Xiao Chen felt that killing people was a bit out of her reach. Will the Sun family retaliate against you? Tang Tang asked worriedly. Different situations call for different actions. Why should I be afraid of them? After all, I have you Xiao Chuan and Lu Zhenming. I can send them to deal with them. Xiao Chen said indifferently. You really treat you Xiao Chuan as a troublemaker. Tang Tang found it a bit funny. By the way, Yu Xiaochuan hasn't been to school these days. I don't know what he's doing. Calm down and don't make trouble at school. I'm afraid that you won't be able to find him in time. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded, but he was doubting in his heart. Where did Yu Xiaochuan go? Did this kid go home to practice the chrysanthemum treasure book? Did he castrate himself? In fact, Xiao Chen guessed half of it. Yu Xiaochuan didn't go to practice the chrysanthemum treasure book, but went to find another bowl. He really wanted to castrate himself, but he couldn't be ruthless, so he planned to see the situation of the bowl behind him before making a decision. In the past few days, Yu Xiaochuan didn't have the mood to go to school. Instead, he went back and forth between various antique markets, but he found nothing. In desperation, Yu Xiaochuan planned to go to the previous Blue Sea Heavenly Palace Hotel. He wanted to ask the foreman, Ma Xiaotian, where did the previous bowl come from? Isn't this young Master Kun? Young Master Kun, you haven't come to our Blue Sea Heavenly Palace for a while. When Ma Xiaotian heard the security guard say that Yu Xiaochuan came and asked for her, she immediately ran over. Last time, she helped Yu Xiaochuan to deceive Xiao Chen. As a result, Xiao Chen wasn't deceived, but Lu Zhenming was deceived instead. Ma Xiaotian was actually a little apologetic, but she couldn't do anything about this kind of thing. It wasn't clear who was to blame. Chapter 222. Manager Ma, let me ask you something. Where did you get the bowl that Zhang Naipeo, the demon sect leader, used last time? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Last time. I'm really sorry about that, but young Master Kun, you know that it's not my fault. But since young Master Kun is here, I can give you a discount to make up for the loss. Ma Xiaotian thought that Yu Xiaochuan was here for revenge, so she quickly explained. I'm not talking to you about that, I'm just asking where that bowl came from. Is there any more? Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand and said impatiently, if there is, I'll buy another one. Ma Xiaotian was stunned. Buy another one? Why would she buy another one? Hadn't she been cheated enough last time? This bowl should be a pair, I'll buy another one, then I'll use one good and one bad to cheat people. Yu Xiaochuan explained. He naturally couldn't show how precious this bowl was. He was afraid that Ma Xiaotian would raise the price. However, Ma Xiaotian couldn't imagine that there was any secret on this bowl. She didn't doubt Yu Xiaochuan's words and only said, this was obtained by a group of grave robbers. Their shop specializes in selling these kinds of stolen goods, and they sell them by cooperating with big hotels like us. Ma Xiaotian didn't hide anything. Although Azure Sea Palace also had a backer, it was easy for the Yu family to investigate these things, so it was better to tell Yu Xiaochuan. Moreover, among these noble families, which one of them had some illegal business, and they had a tacit understanding not to make a fuss about it. Where is their shop? Yu Xiaochuan asked. In the East Antique Street, there is a treasure souvenir shop. Ma Xiaotian said, after you go, find old Wu, just say that Azure Sea Palace's Ma Xiaotian introduced it. Alright, Manager Ma, don't worry, I will often come to take care of your business in the future. Yu Xiaochuan said, at that time, if possible, I will also choose this place for my engagement party. Thank you young Master Kun for your guidance. Ma Xiaotian was overjoyed. She knew that Yu Xiaochuan was a gentleman. He usually wouldn't go back on his words, especially on such small matters. If he said he would take care of it, then he would definitely take care of it. She didn't expect that information about a broken bowl could be exchanged like this. Ma Xiaotian felt that it was worth it. As for the value of that broken bowl, Ma Xiaotian was not a martial artist, so she had no idea. After Yu Xiaochuan came out of the Blue Sea Heavenly Palace, he rushed to the precious souvenir store that Ma Xiaotian had mentioned. When he went to this antique street before, he went to almost every house to take a look. Because this precious souvenir store was selling souvenirs, there were some high-quality fakes inside, so Yu Xiaochuan ignored it. Who would have thought that such a place would be a place for grave robbers to dispose of their stolen goods? Yu Xiaochuan parked the car at the door of Xinjiang souvenir store and walked in. Yu Xiaochuan drove an Audi A8L today, so when he entered the door, he was surrounded by several salesgirls. This handsome guy, what do you want to buy? We have everything here, and the imitations are all very authentic. One of the shop assistants introduced. Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand and said, where's your boss? I have something to talk to him about. Oh. The salesgirl was a little disappointed. It turned out to be the boss's friend. However, she did not dare to neglect and immediately went to call the boss. The boss of Xinjiang souvenir store was the leader of a grave robbing gang. He was known as the king of thieves in the underworld. This person's name was Wang Wei. On the surface, he looked like a slightly shrewd boss. The salesgirl called Wang Wei over, and Wang Wei greeted him with a smile. This young master, I wonder why you are looking for me? Let's find a quiet place to talk. Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand and said, I am from the Blue Sea Heavenly Palace. Ma Xiaotian introduced me. Oh. Okay, this way please. Wang Wei pondered for a moment and made a gesture of invitation. He brought Yu Xiaochuan to a private room on the upper floor of the store. After closing the door, Wang Wei said, I wonder why Ma Xiaotian asked you to look for me? Let's not beat around the bush. The goods in Ma Xiaotian's hands, did you provide them? Yu Xiaochuan went straight to the point. He was not in the mood to deal with Wang Wei, so he asked directly. What goods? What do you mean? Who are you? Wang Wei looked very vigilant. He would not directly admit it just because Yu Xiaochuan said that Ma Xiaotian introduced him. As for who I am, there is no harm in telling you. My name is Yu Xiaochuan, a member of the Yu family. Everyone calls me Young Master Kun. Boss, you can call me that too, Yu Xiaochuan said lightly. Oh? Wang Wei was stunned. He did not expect that the person in front of him was the famous young master of the Yu family. Yu Xiaochuan was very famous among the children of the aristocratic families. He was known as the leader of the younger generation and a gentleman. However, why was he looking for him? Did you sell a bowl to Ma Xiaotian? What bowl that Mormon sect leader Zhang Naipeo used? Yu Xiaochuan did not have the mood to let Wang Wei ponder, so he asked directly. What's the matter? Wei Wang did not admit nor deny it. Even if the person in front of him was Yu Xiaochuan from the Yu clan and not someone from the police force, Wei Wang was still very cautious. This was because he did not know what Yu Xiaochuan wanted. Is there any more? That bowl should be a pair. After I bought it for someone, my elder still wants it, Yu Xiaochuan said directly. He was not afraid that Wang Wei would leak it to Ma Xiaotian. After all, he had set up a trap before. In Ma Xiaotian's opinion, Yu Xiaochuan would definitely not tell others about this, so it was reasonable for him to make up a reason. Oh, you are talking about that bowl. After hearing Yu Xiaochuan's purpose of coming, Wang Wei suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. There is no more bowl. In the ruins, there was only one bowl. There is no second one. There is no second one. Yu Xiaochuan felt very regretful after hearing this. He had looked around for a long time and finally found the right one, but in the end, he was told that there was only one bowl. This made him a little crazy. No more. Wang Wei said firmly. If there was, would I not sell it to you? To be able to have a relationship with the young master of the Yu family, this business is definitely profitable. Wang Wei did not have any backing. If he could have Yu Xiaochuan's protection, at least his stolen goods could enter the circle of aristocrats. Then, it would be safer to sell them. Forget it, it's fine. Yu Xiaochuan sighed and wanted to leave, feeling a little disappointed. Young Master Kun, please wait. Wang Wei suddenly spoke and stopped Yu Xiaochuan. Oh? Is there anything else? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned and asked. The bowl is gone, but I found a small booklet with the bowl. It seems to be an annotation of some kind of martial arts. I wonder if young Master Kun is interested? Wang Wei asked. Oh? Martial arts annotation? Bring it over and let me see. At this moment, Yu Xiaochuan was ecstatic, but on the surface, he still pretended to be indifferent. He was a person who was good at hiding his emotions. Okay. Wang Wei nodded and quickly turned to leave the private room. He went in the direction of the warehouse. Yu Xiaochuan was very excited. He walked back and forth in the private room. He didn't want to wait any longer. Annotation of martial arts, could it be related to the Chrysanthemum treasure book? That must be it. It was really a case of wearing out iron shoes and fruitless searching, only to find it by chance. Soon, Wang Wei returned with a small box in his hand. He walked towards Yu Xiaochuan and handed the small box to him. Young Master Kun, this is it. Can you take a look and see if it's useful? Okay, let me see. Yu Xiaochuan opened the small box and saw a thread-bound notebook inside. He carefully opened it and saw a few words scribbled on it, Grimoire Cultivation Notes. Grimoire Cultivation Notes? Although it didn't say what grimoire it was, Yu Xiaochuan was sure that it was definitely the Chrysanthemum treasure book. However, he pretended to be indifferent. He glanced at it casually and said, What kind of grimoire is this? There's no mantra for martial arts, only the notes. This thing isn't worth much, right? Isn't this just an antique? The value of an antique lies in its age, not in the object itself, right? Wang Wei was a little disappointed when he heard Yu Xiaochuan's words, but he wasn't too surprised. He was also a martial artist, but his strength wasn't high. Even if he had heard of the Chrysanthemum treasure book, it was difficult to associate it with the notes. In fact, even when Yu Xiaochuan first received the bowl, he didn't think it was anything good. Wang Wei originally wanted to sell the notes to a martial artist who knew about it. After all, this thing could only be sold at a high price if sold to the right person. However, it seemed that Yu Xiaochuan was right. This was just a note. Without the mantra, it wasn't very useful. Oh, since it's a set, I'll buy it back for my elder. Consider it as completing a task. Yu Xiaochuan said with waning interest. How much is it? 500,000. Wang Wei said after thinking for a while. Do you think I'm a spendthrift? Yu Xiaochuan's face immediately turned ugly. He threw the notes on the table and said lightly, keep it for yourself. Hey! Young Master Kun, don't be angry. Isn't it all about bargaining when doing business? Why don't you name a price? Wang Wei sighed. This Yu Xiaochuan wasn't that easy to fool. These aristocratic families' children weren't stupid and had a lot of money. It wasn't like what Ma Xiaotian said. They would throw in 1 million to get rich. 100,000. If it's okay, I'll pay. If not, then forget it. This thing is just dispensable to me, Yu Xiaochuan said. All right. Wang Wei nodded. In fact, this thing didn't cost anything. 100,000 was not bad. This was something that Ma Xiaotian didn't want in the beginning. She only wanted the bowl. This time, Yu Xiaochuan swiped his card and left with the notes. Wang Wei sent him to the door and watched him get in the car. He said, Young Master Kun, please take care of my business next time. Chapter 223. That's easy. My elder likes to study the demon sect. If you have anything related to the demon sect, you can look for me directly. I'll give you my phone number. As Yu Xiaochuan spoke, he gave Wei Wang a business card. Wei Wang responded happily, thinking that he had gained a great advantage. As for Yu Xiaochuan, he rushed home quickly. On the way, he couldn't help but want to read the notes, afraid that he would get into a car accident. When he reached home, Yu Xiaochuan locked himself in his room and began to study the notes carefully. There wasn't much content in the notes. It mainly talked about the essentials of cultivation, how to cultivate faster and so on. Previously, although these were very useful, Yu Xiaochuan wasn't too excited. After all, if he wanted to cultivate the Chrysanthemum treasure book, he needed to be very determined. To castrate himself, this was something that ordinary people couldn't accept. However, when Yu Xiaochuan flipped to the last page, he found something that made him extremely excited. The Chrysanthemum treasure book could be successful without castration. However, there was a prerequisite, which was to find a woman with a special body called the mysterious Yin body. After intercourse with this woman, the woman's blood would be injected into the body, and it would achieve the same effect as castration. The blood of a woman with the mysterious Yin body had the effect of calming the mind. It could suppress the desire in the process of cultivation, but it wouldn't affect the normal physiological characteristics. This made Yu Xiaochuan extremely happy. In this way, he wouldn't have to castrate himself. A normal man could also cultivate. So what if he suppressed his desire during cultivation? Wouldn't he return to normal when he didn't cultivate? This was simply a great thing. It was simply tailor-made for him. However, how could he find a woman with the mysterious Yin body? According to the notes, a woman with the mysterious Yin body was generally 1 in a billion. It was very rare. Even if he saw one, he might not be able to distinguish it. This posed a big problem for Xiaochuan. After calming down, although he didn't have to castrate himself, it seemed to be more troublesome. He might as well castrate himself. However, Xiaochuan wasn't satisfied. He didn't want to castrate himself. He still wanted to enjoy the joy of being a man. On the other hand, Tang Fangbai was already so old. There wasn't much point in having that thing anymore. All he had to do was make up his mind. However, even if Xiaochuan did not know how to find a woman with the mysterious Yin body, it did not mean that others did not know. After getting used to playing around with the Warrior Guild's mission app, Xiaochuan directly issued a mission request: who knows how to identify a woman with the mysterious Yin body? For this mission, Xiaochuan directly offered a reward of 500 points. After all, this question was still very difficult, and if the reward was too low, the people who knew might not answer him. After posting the quest, Xiaochuan quietly waited for someone to accept the quest. He was looking forward to it, so he refreshed the page when he had nothing to do. After Xiaochuan explained the general situation to Tang, he opened the Warrior Guild's app to complete quests. Although the Xia family gave him 5 million, it was really a drop in the bucket. It was estimated that it was only enough for 3 doses of medicine, and that was under the condition that the price did not increase. A task recommendation flashed on the app. Any task that had recently been issued by the same person would be recommended with priority if the person issued a task again. Xiaochuan clicked on it and took a look. It was actually issued by Xiaochuan. It was still a text task, and the points were quite high. These points were at least equivalent to 500,000, which was 10 times more than the last time. This guy was quite generous, but the key problem was that Xiaochuan did not even know what the mysterious Yin body was. But it didn't matter. He still had Yi Xiaoya, didn't he? Xiaochuan directly forwarded this task to Yi Bia and asked, "Do you know the answer? Tell me. Do I owe you anything? If there is a task, I won't take it myself. Why should I help you?" Yi Xiaoya's message quickly returned. "Last time I killed the disciple of the Witch of Xishan, I had to bear the responsibility alone. That Witch of Xishan has been targeting me," Xiaochuan said. "Okay. The mysterious Yin body is a woman with a special physique. There are 2 ways to identify it. One is through the identification of the mantra, but only those who have practiced the special mantra can identify it. The second is more modern science, that is, through the blood, a high or low value to determine, specifically like this." Yi Xiaoya sent a lot of information. Xiaochuan glanced at it and did not understand it, but he directly accepted the task and sent the things that Yi Xiaoya sent directly to young Master Kun in the form of a private message. Xiaochuan did not expect that someone would accept the task so soon. He quickly clicked on it and did not expect that it was actually White Fox who accepted his task last time. This immediately made Xiaochuan's heart feel at ease. Last time, the demonic text translation provided by White Fox was quite accurate. In Xiaochuan's opinion, this White Fox must have a deep relationship with the demon sect. He might even be a disciple of the demon sect. Looking at the information provided by White Fox about the mysterious Yin body, Xiaochuan was very excited. He had a very professional and convincing feeling, especially the second method of identification. Xiaochuan felt that it was very feasible. Blood testing was based on the numerical content of a certain substance in the blood. This was a very scientific and easy method. Next, Xiaochuan only needed to find a suitable reason to find a large group of people to test the blood. Thinking of this, Xiaochuan was extremely excited. He clicked on the friend request on the mobile phone's Warrior app and requested to add White Fox as his friend. Xiaochuan was slightly stunned. He did not expect young Master Kun to want to add him. However, after thinking about it, he agreed. This guy was stupid and had a lot of money. It was a good thing to scam him. Not long after the verification, young Master Kun sent a message. Hello, Mr. White Fox, I am young Master Kun. I have issued 2 mission commissions, and you were the one who accepted them. I wonder if you have any impression? Oh, not bad. What's the matter? Xiao Chen asked. Nothing. I just think that you are very powerful. I want to be friends with you. If I have any questions in the future, I will issue a targeted mission to you. Young Master Kun said. Sure. Xiao Chen naturally did not refuse. Yu Xiaochuan saw that White Fox's answer was relatively cold. It was obvious that he did not want to chat with him. Yu Xiaochuan did not continue to annoy him. If White Fox was tired of him and did not accept his mission next time, who could he ask for advice? Although the mission commissions he issued had points as a reward, it also needed suitable people to accept it. Not everyone could answer his questions. Elder Heaven Ancestor, why is this person asking about the mysterious Een body? He was the one who issued the translation of the Chrysanthemum Treasure Book last time. Xiao Chen asked Elder Heaven Ancestor. Oh, the Chrysanthemum Treasure Book. If you don't castrate yourself, you can have intercourse with a woman with the mysterious Een body, and then inject the blood of the woman with the mysterious Een body into your body. You can achieve a similar goal. However, there are some flaws. You don't have to think about practicing it. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. I see. Xiao Chen nodded. To be honest, he did not want to practice it. When he heard the name of the mantra, he felt that it was very wretched. He was afraid that there would be some side effects if he practiced it. On this day, the atmosphere in the Wang family was also very depressed. The Xia family found someone to spread the news, but it made the head of the Wang family, Wang Xiangyin, very angry. What the F***ck does the Xia family mean? What do they mean by hero White Fox like Xia Fei? What does hero White Fox like Xia Fei have to do with the Wang family? However, when Wang Xiangyin heard that White Fox had killed Sun Rongjin on a horse, he was dumbfounded. Dead? Where did this hero White Fox come from? How could he be so powerful? It was easy to kill a person, but it wasn't easy to kill someone on a horse. The Wang family was very clear about the grievances between the Xia family and the Sun family. The Wang family only needed to inquire a little about the matter of Sun Rongjin dying on a horse. The problem now was whether or not hero White Fox was the one who killed him. Wang Xiangyin directly called Wang Xiongzhuang and Wang Xiongzhuang's father, who was also his eldest son, Wang Dadong. After all, Xia Fei was Wang Xiongzhuang's wife. He had to let his grandson know about this matter. He didn't want this matter to be directly thrown out during the family meeting. If that happened, Wang Xiongzhuang would lose face. Dadong, Xiongzhuang, what do you think? Wang Xiangyin told the two of them what the Xia family said and asked. Father, this Xia family is simply too much. I think Xia Fei couldn't bear the loneliness and wanted to have an affair. She hooked up with a man called White Fox. Today's matter is most likely a coincidence. It's to create momentum for White Fox so that our Wang family will compromise. Wang Dadong coldly snorted and said, Our Xiongzhuang is indeed wrong, but which man in a big family doesn't have 3 wives and 4 concubines? What's the problem? She had an affair, yet she dares to scare our Wang family? Do you think our Wang family is so easily scared? In any case, our Wang family is also a well-known family in the provincial capital. If the Xia family doesn't have the halo of being the #1 business family, they are nothing. We absolutely cannot tolerate this. We will send out martial artists to first kill that White Fox to demonstrate our strength. Then we will force them to promise us some benefits. Finally, we will divorce that Xia Fei. Wang Dadong voiced out his opinion in one breath. The Wang family's business was currently helmed by him, so he was full of energy. Moreover, the Wang family was also a martial arts family in the provincial capital. They had many martial artists. He himself was a martial artist with level 5 internal force, so he had the qualifications to be arrogant. Wang Xiangyin was just about to agree with his son, but he saw his grandson Wang Xiongzhuang's face was full of fear. He fell to the ground and his face was pale. "Don't, please don't." Others didn't know the ability of White Fox, but Wang Xiongzhuang was very clear about it. He was a super powerful superhuman. He could easily cure his impotence, so why couldn't he let Sun Rongjin die on horseback? Chapter 224. Xiongzhuang, what's wrong with you? Wang Dadong was stunned. He didn't expect his son to be so weak. He was actually scared to this extent. He suddenly became angry. Xiaofan is your wife. You are actually scared by an adulterer. Are you still a man? Wang Xiongzhuang's body was not very good when he was young, so he did not cultivate. However, although the Wang family was a martial arts family, in the end, it still relied on business development, and Wang Xiongzhuang had a very high talent in business, so he was cultivated as a successor. No. Dad, that White Fox, we shouldn't provoke him. Our Wang family can't afford to provoke him. Wang Xiongzhuang stuttered. What do you mean? Little bastard, are you stupid? Why can't we afford to provoke him? Wang Dadong reached out and wanted to hit Wang Xiongzhuang. Isn't this too much of a coward? His wife was slept with and he didn't say anything. He was afraid of this. This made Wang Dadong really angry. You wait. Wang Xiangyin, on the other hand, was a shrewd old man. He understood his grandson. He was a very astute person. It was unrealistic to say that he was frightened by someone he had never met before. Therefore, he wanted to ask in detail what was going on. Xiongzhuang, do you know this White Fox? This. Yes. Wang Xiongzhuang clenched his teeth. At this point, some things couldn't be hidden anymore. Of course, there was no need to hide it. In the past, he was afraid that others would talk about it. Now that he was fine, even if everyone knew about it, it was impossible to make a fuss about it. What was there to hide? At most, it was not very glorious. This White Fox, when he was with Xiaofan, was he caught by you? Wang Dadang's imagination was very rich. He immediately thought of this. Then he beat you up? This. No. Wang Xiongzhuang shook his head. Dadong, don't talk. Xiongzhuang, finish. Wang Xiangyin waved his hand to stop Wang Dadong from continuing to ask. He directly said to Wang Xiongzhuang. You tell me, what is going on with this White Fox? This. Wang Xiongzhuang hesitated. Actually. There is something I didn't say. I am a natural eunuch. That thing is not good. I can't carry on the family line, what? Wang Dadong was stunned and looked at Wang Xiongzhuang in disbelief. Then, you allowed concubine Xie to fool around outside just because of this? Is it because you feel guilty? Wang Dabong, you shut up. Did I allow you to speak? Wang Xiangyin frowned. His son had been in power for too long and had become a little arrogant. It seemed that he had to teach him a lesson. I'm sorry, father. Wang Dadong suddenly sobered up. He suddenly realized that although he was the helmsman of the Wang family's business, in front of old man Wang, he was a nobody. Xiongzhuang, I've always known about you. However, Wang Xiangyin said, you and that woman outside haven't gotten pregnant after so long. I got someone to secretly investigate and found out that firstly, you didn't buy condoms, and secondly, you didn't buy contraceptives. After further investigation, I found out that there's a problem with you, but I didn't look for you. After all, our Wang family has other children. This won't affect you taking over the business. Grandpa, you know about it? Wang Xiongzhuang was a little surprised, but this way, he was relieved. Then, What he said next was even more convincing. White Fox is not only a martial artist, but he is also a superpower user. My natural castration was cured by him. He let me experience the happiness of being a man. What? Cured? After Wang Xiangyin knew that Wang Xiongzhuang was naturally castrated, he also got someone to look at Wang Xiongzhuang's medical records in the hospital. He also got some professionals to look at it. The conclusion was that it was an internal problem that couldn't be cured. Now, Wang Xiangyin actually heard that Wang Xiongzhuang was cured. How could he not be surprised? Yes, Grandpa, I specially went to the hospital for a checkup. Now, I am completely normal, and I can carry on the family line. Wang Xiongzhuang nodded. So, firstly, White Fox is my benefactor. I allowed him to be with Consort Xie. Secondly, even if I didn't allow it, such a person can cure me or destroy me at any time. Moreover, he can make Sun Rongjin die on a horse. Then, if he wants to kill me, it's just a matter of minutes. Wang Xiangyin's expression suddenly changed. Wang Xiongzhuang had no need to lie. If what he said was true, then it could only mean that this White Fox was really too powerful. He wasn't an ordinary person. Facing such a person, the Wang family didn't need to go against him. Not only couldn't they go against him, but they had to try their best to rope him in. Therefore, Wang Xiangyin said, Xiongzhuang, go and reply to the Xie family. Tell them that you know about this. Okay, I will divorce Consort Xie later. Wang Xiongzhuang nodded. Divorce? Why do you want to divorce? Wang Xiangyin waved his hand. Not divorce? Wang Xiongzhuang was stunned. Wang Xiangyin nodded, but said, how can you divorce now? If you divorce, you will have nothing to do with Consort Xie. How can you establish contact with Hero White Fox? When you are close to Hero White Fox, you can then propose to divorce Consort Xie. This is equivalent to giving Hero White Fox a favor. Who knows, the Wang family might even need his help in the future. Okay, I understand. Wang Xiongzhuang wasn't stupid. He immediately understood that his grandfather heard that Hero White Fox was so powerful, so he wanted to build a relationship with him. No wonder that old fox Xie Chaonan didn't hesitate to fall out with us. It turns out that he wanted to hoard a rare commodity. However, he probably didn't expect that Xiongzhuang and Hero White Fox already knew each other. Wang Xiangyin sneered. However, with Hero White Fox as a link, not only can we not lose our business with the Xie family, but we must also strengthen our cooperation. Even if we don't give face to the monk, we should give face to the Buddha. Who asked Hero White Fox and Consort Xie to be so close? Naturally, the Xie family has an advantage over the Wang family. I understand, father. I will inform the pharmaceutical companies under me to stop the other suppliers' goods and buy up the Xie family's stock. Although Wang Dadong was a little impatient, he wasn't a fool. After knowing how powerful Hero White Fox was, his attitude immediately changed. Okay, only the three of us know about this. Don't tell anyone else. If the others don't keep it a secret, it won't matter if they tell others about Xiongzhuang, but if they tell others about Hero White Fox, it will be a big problem. Wang Xiangyin instructed. Wang Dadong and Wang Xiongzhuang quickly nodded solemnly. The day passed quickly. In the evening, Xiao Chen, disguised as White Fox, drove Sun Rongjin's car to Consort Xie's villa. Consort Xie had been arranged to return home early that day. She was waiting at the villa for Xiao Chen's visit. In fact, Consort Xie knew her own situation best. Xiao Chen might not like her. He rang the doorbell at the door of the villa. Soon, Consort Xie came to open the door. Her driver was obviously not here at night. Mr. White Fox, you're here. Consort Xie was still very polite to Xiao Chen, as if she wasn't the one who teased Xiao Chen the last time. Consort Xie's attitude made Xiao Chen breathe a sigh of relief. Otherwise, Xiao Chen really didn't know how to deal with Consort Xie. Was he really going to reject her? But she was Wang Xiongzhuang's wife. Wasn't this a bit inappropriate? Although Wang Xiongzhuang was very tacit and even thought that Xiao Chen had already done this, Wang Xiongzhuang didn't mind. Well, how's the Sun family? Xiao Chen went straight to the point. Although the Sun family is in a mess, what we didn't expect was that we still underestimated the endurance of the Sun family's old man, Sun Xiaonong. Sun Rongjin just died, and they arranged for Sun Rongjin's elder brother, Sun Rongqin, to take over Sun Rongjin's business at the Warriors' Market. I guess their business will not be affected for the time being. Consort Xie said helplessly. Sun Rongqin. Xiao Chen frowned slightly and then nodded. What do you want to do? Kill this Sun Rongqin too? Xiao Chen didn't have a good impression of the Sun family. If it weren't for the Sun family's connivance, would Sun Rongjin send a warrior like Lu Jianbiao to assassinate Zhu Yingxiong? And looking at Medicine Master Sun's face, he knew that his family wasn't good people. This is still a solution. However, based on the current situation, even if he dies, the Sun family may still send someone else to replace him. It won't affect the trade with the Warriors Guild. Consort Xie analyzed. Our Xie family's next batch of medicinal herbs is about to arrive. If we are thrown out like before, then our Xie family will suffer a huge loss. Oh, I understand. Xiao Chen nodded and said, you should have a channel of information. When Sun Rongqin trades with the Warriors Guild, tell me. I will stop his trade. As long as they can't trade, the Warriors Guild can only take your Xie family's goods. Aha. Consort Xie's eyes lit up after listening to Xiao Chen's words. Xiao Chen was right. As long as they stopped Sun Rongqin's trade and delayed the time between the Sun family and the Warriors' Market, then the Warriors' Market could only take their own goods. This was a good idea. No problem, I will tell you when the time comes. Okay, then I will go back first. Xiao Chen finished speaking and prepared to leave. This is this month's pay. Consort Xie handed a bank card that she had prepared to Xiao Chen and said, thank you. Xiao Chen took the bank card and put it in his pocket. He turned around and prepared to walk to the door of the villa. Wait. Consort Xie suddenly called out to Xiao Chen. Her voice sounded a little strange, which made Xiao Chen slightly stunned. Miss Xie, is there anything else? Xiao Chen turned around and asked, but he found that Consort Xie's little face was red. He didn't know what was wrong. No, nothing else. You can go. Goodbye. Consort Xie bit her lips and said. Chapter 225. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and shook his head. Xie Fei's appearance was very tempting, but Xiao Chen didn't have the idea of turning into a werewolf. He turned around and walked out of the villa quickly. At present, he and Xie Fei were just acquaintances. If they took a step further, his relationship with the Xie family would be unclear. Xiao Chen was very clear that the Xie family wanted to use him to get rid of the Wang family, but the Xie family really overestimated him. Xiao Chen knew his own strength. Now, dealing with the Wang family was completely a trick. If it was a real fight, Xiao Chen wasn't an opponent at all. Seeing Xiao Chen leave, Xie Fei's breathing immediately became rapid, and she quickly ran upstairs. Xiao Chen didn't drive this car back to the villa. After all, this car was snatched from the Wang family. The identity of the white fox didn't matter, but Xiao Chen still wanted to keep a low profile. While the Wang family ignored Xiao Chen's problem, he was going to dispose of the car. After thinking about it, there was no suitable way to deal with it. This car wasn't worth much. Even if it was a second-hand car with legal procedures, it could only be sold for tens of thousands of yuan, let alone a black car. It was 10 or 20,000 yuan. Xiao Chen was too lazy to deal with it. He directly broke the car's license plate and threw away the car's license. Then, he called Chen Jinpeng. Boss Xiao Chen? Are you looking for me? Chen Jinpeng received a call from Xiao Chen and was a little surprised. Little shed, where are you? Asked Xiao Chen. At school. What's wrong? Shen Jingxian lived on campus, so Chen Jinpeng also chose to live on campus recently. He wanted to have dinner with Shen Jingxian at night, but Chen Jinpeng could clearly feel that Shen Jingxian was still indifferent to him. Come here. I'll give you a car, said Xiao Chen. Ha! Give me a car? Chen Jinpeng was stunned. Xiao Chen is so kind to give me a car. Is this possible? It's good enough that he didn't cheat me of my car. Why does it feel a little unrealistic to give it to me? Do you want it? If not, I'll give it to someone else. The car is quite good. It costs more than 100,000 yuan, said Xiao Chen. Are you really going to give it to me? Chen Jinpeng still didn't quite believe it. Are you kidding me? Are you going to give it to me and then ask me for money? I'm your boss. What's wrong with giving you a car? Have I not given you enough things in the past? Xiao Chen retorted. That's true. However, the past is different from the present. Is Jean Bebe beside you? Chen Jinpeng asked. I'm not here. Do you want it or not? Xiao Chen was getting impatient. Yes, yes. Chen Jinpeng heaved a sigh of relief when he heard that Jean Bebe wasn't here. As long as Jean Bebe wasn't here, it was still reliable. So, he said, where are you? I'll go to you right now. The villa area. Come to my house, said Xiao Chen. Okay. I'll call a taxi now. Chen Jinpeng answered quickly. Chen Jinpeng had just sent Shen Jingxian away and was about to send Xiao Yuliang to the parking lot when he received Xiao Chen's call. Xiao Chen wants to give you a car. Xiao Yuliang also felt that it was a little weird. Xiao Chen is so poor. How can he give you a car? I'm a bit confused, too. He is so greedy and greedy. How can he give me a car worth more than 100,000 yuan? Did the sun rise from the west? Chen Jinpeng still found it hard to believe. Why don't you go? Just like Jean Bebe, the boy is full of tricks. Li Shanying will be back soon. Don't cause any trouble, reminded Xiao Yuliang. I'll go and take a look. If it doesn't work, I don't want it. I don't have any money with me. Can he detain me there? Chen Jinpeng was reluctant to give up the car. He had never dared to buy a car because he was afraid that Jean Bebe would scam him again. However, the shabby van was too lousy. He did not want to buy it anymore. This time, Xiao Chen had given him a car. He believed that Jean Bebe would not scam him back. So, it would be a waste if he did not accept it. Thinking for a moment, Xiao Yuliang said, fine. You don't have to call a taxi. I'll go home later. I'll drive you there to take a look first. Then, you can adapt to the situation. He knew that Chen Jinpeng had been scared of being scammed recently and did not dare buy a car on his own anymore. Now that he had a free car, he would certainly want it. At the very least, since it was a gift from Xiao Chen, he could not scam him back. That would be meaningless. If Xiao Chen did not want to give it to him, he could simply not give it to him. There was no need to scam him back. The two of them arrived at the villa district. At the entrance of Xiao Chen's house, they saw Xiao Chen alighting from a black Volkswagen. Then, he casually tossed the car key to Chen Jinpeng and said, "This is a black car, so there's no registration. Think of a way to get a fake one. I'm heading back." Huh? Chen Jinpeng immediately found it hard to believe. He gave it to him just like that? Without any additional conditions? However, seeing that Xiao Chen had already turned around and entered the villa, Chen Jinpeng rubbed his eyes. He could not help but wonder if he had misunderstood. Was Xiao Chen a good person? He had been spoiled by Jean Bebe before. Now that he was alone, he had regained his generous personality when he was a boss. Of course, Chen Jinpeng only thought about it and did not dare to take it lightly. He walked to the car carefully and checked it. He did not find any problem. After he got in the car and started it, everything was normal. This made him even more puzzled. Did he really give it to me? Let's go. It seems that he has really given it to you. Chao Yuliang shook his head. He also could not figure out Xiao Chen's intention. Could it be that he had too many good cars and was not interested in an ordinary car of this level? Chao Yuliang drove the car in the front while Chen Jinpeng drove behind. He did not find anything. Previously, Chen Jinpeng even wondered if Xiao Chen would install a bomb in the car and blow him up. But now it seemed that he had really gauged the heart of a gentleman with his own mean measure. As for whether the car was registered or not, Chen Jinpeng did not care at all. The Chen family had so many businesses, and they also had cars of this model. He just needed to go through a set of procedures. Who would be able to check it carefully? Xiao Chen returned to the villa. Cheng Menjing was watching TV in the living room. Seeing Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing curled her lips. The big hero is back. No wonder you are my servant. You even know how to play the hero and save the damsel in distress. Xiao Chen could not help but be stunned. He did not know if Cheng Menjing had said something good or bad. He could only laugh dryly and said, "It's okay." Where is Bebe? Bebe is not here. She only comes on the weekends. She usually stays at home. Cheng Menjing did not mention the topic of the hero saving the damsel in distress again. Instead, she said, "I am hungry. You go and get something to eat." Okay. Xiao Chen nodded and went to the kitchen. Yi Xiaoye was busy in the kitchen. When she saw Xiao Chen come in, she glanced at him and said faintly, "Such a difficult woman, and you still want to be with her every day. Do you have any backbone? If it were me, I would have left long ago. You speak with innuendo. I don't know what is going on. Who are you talking about?" Cheng Menjing's ears were sharp. She heard Yi Xiaoye's murmur immediately. She sat up from the sofa and rushed to the kitchen. "He is my servant. Do you need to care about him? Are you envious and jealous? Do you like Xiao Chen and are envious that he's my servant?" "Yes." Yi Xiaoye said faintly, "Xiao Chen, why don't you follow me? It is definitely better than following her." Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. At this moment, he was a little tempted. He was not tempted by Yi Xiaoye, but he was tempted by the freshness boxes in Yi Xiaoye's refrigerator. Ku Ji fruit, money. If I follow Yi Xiaoye, will I get them for free? Looking at Xiao Chen, she was a little absent-minded for a moment. Cheng Menjing was angry. "I usually treat you well, right? Why are you going to abandon me after Yi Xiaoye provoked you? You really let me down. Xiao Chen, you say, who are you following?" Cheng Menjing was so angry with Yi Xiaoye that she vented her anger on Xiao Chen. "Sweat, of course, I am following you. You are my miss." Xiao Chen said quickly and simply. This made Cheng Menjing suddenly happy again. She stared at Yi Xiaoye proudly. "Humph. How about it? Some people's sugar-coated bullets are useless. This lady's servant has a firm stand." "Tisk, maybe you have something on Xiao Chen, so he has to follow you." Yi Xiaoye snorted and said disdainfully. "You." This sentence seemed to step on Cheng Menjing's tail, making her a little angry. What Yi Xiaoye said was really right. Xiao Chen had to be my servant now. If he didn't be my servant, he might be tortured by the Cheng family. Although in a sense, this wasn't my fault, what Yi Xiaoye said was true. Xiao Chen's weakness was held by me, or by the Cheng family. I guessed it right, right? Yi Xiaoye rolled her eyes. You only have this little ability. Forget it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's boring. Who wants to talk to you? Cheng Menjing ran upstairs angrily. Xiao Chen, I don't want to eat anymore. I'm full. But if you care about your miss, send her a bowl of instant noodles upstairs. You don't have hands, and you don't even know how to make noodles. Without Xiao Chen, I think you will probably starve to death, Yi Xiaoye said casually. Cheng Menjing was almost driven mad. She turned around and glared at Yi Xiaoye, only to discover miserably that Yi Xiaoye did not look at her at all. This made Cheng Menjing feel a sense of powerlessness and frustration. She had never won a fight with Yi Xiaoye, but if Jin Beibei came, Yi Xiaoye would be put down with only a few words. Jin Beibei was truly good at dealing with all kinds of disagreements. Knowing that she was no match for Jin Beibei, Cheng Menjing did not say anything else. She was so angry that she went upstairs quickly, planning to complain to Jin Beibei and ask her to deal with Yi Xiaoye for her help next Saturday. Yi Xiaoye, is it fun to bicker with a miss? In fact, Menjing is a nice person, Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. Chapter 226. One was a young lady, and the other was a close teammate. Xiao Chen really couldn't help them. Only you think she's good. Yi Xiaoye snorted. By the way, can you lend me that dog of yours to study? I have been observing it for a few days. This dog doesn't seem to be an ordinary dog. Lend it to you for research? It's not an ordinary dog. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. There had been too many things recently. Other than giving leftovers to the native dog every day, Xiao Chen really neglected it. However, at this moment, listening to Yi Xiaoye, Xiao Chen suddenly remembered the strange feeling he had when he first saw this dog. You don't really think it's a native dog, do you? Yi Xiaoye was a little surprised to see Xiao Chen in a daze. With Cheng Menjing's family background, getting a native dog to raise? This doesn't seem too realistic. Therefore, Yi Xiaoye thought that Cheng Menjing found something, so she took in this dog, but now it seemed that it wasn't the case. According to my judgment as a prospective martial artist, there is something wrong with this dog. It seems to have a sense of familiarity with me. Xiao Chen didn't hide it. At the same time, he was also testing how much Yi Xiaoye knew. You're not a demon. When Yi Xiaoye said this, she suddenly stopped talking and said, You're not a martial artist, but you can actually sense it. It's really strange. I have the same feeling. Xiao Chen smiled secretly. Demonic cultivator? It turned out that only demonic cultivators could sense it. As for martial artists, Xiao Chen didn't think that there was any difference between martial artists and this dog. After all, martial artists relied on strength, not energy. Really? Then you go and study it, but don't ruin it. Xiao Chen said calmly, Tell me the results of your research. Alright, then I won't stand on ceremony. Yi Xiaoye went out to catch the native dog and prepared to go upstairs. Looking at her, it was as if she was going to kill the dog and eat its meat. This made Xiao Chen a little speechless. Xiao Chen made 10,000 bowls of instant noodles for Missy and went upstairs to deliver it. At the door of Missy's room, Xiao Chen hesitated for a moment. He didn't push the door open but knocked on it. Xiao Chen. Come in. Cheng Menjing's voice sounded. Xiao Chen pushed the door open and entered, only to see the young mistress sprawled on the bed, playing with her tablet computer. Her two legs were raised in the air, and her fair little feet were swaying back and forth, causing Xiao Chen to feel a little dizzy. Although he didn't have any foot fetishes, everyone loved beauty. Xiao Chen merely admired and yearned for beautiful things. I want to reach out and grab it. Xiao Chen just thought about it. He didn't dare to do it. He was afraid that Missy would kick him out directly. The noodles are ready. Where should I put it for you? Asked Xiao Chen. Ah. Cheng Menjing opened her mouth. Her hands were playing with the tablet game. She couldn't free them. Xiao Chen was a little helpless. He walked over and watched Missy's slender fingers sliding on the tablet computer. He couldn't help but think, Missy's hands are quite flexible. Her left and right hands can actually do different actions. Would it be cool? However, Xiao Chen didn't dare to think too dirty. He picked up the fork and forked some noodles into Missy's mouth. So, Cheng Menjing ate and played games. Soon, a bowl of noodles was finished, and Cheng Menjing's game was over. She looked up. She was a little thirsty, so she said to Xiao Chen, "Give me some soup." Oh. Xiao Chen picked up the bucket of noodles and sent it to Cheng Menjing's mouth. He raised it. However, Xiao Chen's estimation was wrong. Missy's mouth was small. Xiao Chen estimated it based on the speed at which he drank the soup. As a result, the noodle soup splashed all over Missy. Yeah. The noodle soup was all over her pajamas, and it was a little hot. Cheng Menjing suddenly exclaimed. "I'm sorry." Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed. He subconsciously reached out to help Missy wipe it. As a result, Xiao Chen grabbed a ball of soft stuff. There seemed to be a small protrusion at the front. It felt really good. What is this? Xiao Chen pinched it twice and suddenly felt the temperature in the room drop suddenly. It became a little cold. Then, Xiao Chen saw a foot step on his face and kicked him off the bed. Ah 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 ah. Cheng Menjing exclaimed, "I'm going to kill you." Xiao Chen's head hit the floor with a bang. The sound was as loud as it could be. Then, Xiao Chen fainted directly. In fact, Xiao Chen did it on purpose. He had already realized what he was grabbing. Although he didn't have time to enjoy and savor it, he knew that his death wasn't far away. Never mind now, even if he was her fiancé in the past, grabbing Cheng Menjing like this definitely wouldn't end well, let alone now. Therefore, in order to avoid responsibility, Xiao Chen directly pretended to fall head first and fainted directly on the floor. Of course, with the strength of a cultivator, holding his breath was very easy. He just needed to convert his own vitality into oxygen to supply himself. Therefore, Xiao Chen directly pretended to be dead. Hearing this loud noise, Cheng Menjing was suddenly shocked. She couldn't care less about her shame and anger. She quickly climbed up from the bed and looked at Xiao Chen, who was under the bed. She saw Xiao Chen closing his eyes and not moving. Cheng Menjing was suddenly frightened. His head hit the ground. How could he recover? Even if he didn't die from the fall, he would at least have a concussion, right? Cheng Menjing didn't feel that she used much strength, but under the urgency just now, she probably used all her strength. Although she wasn't a martial artist, she had trained when she was a child. Her strength was much greater than the average girl. Xiao Chen's body was weak and he took medicine all day. If he was kicked off by her by surprise, wouldn't there be any problems? But, who asked you to take advantage of me? You deserve to fall to death. When the Xiao family comes looking for you, just say so. But, Cheng Menjing thought about it. She still jumped off the bed and quickly checked Xiao Chen's breath. However, after a test, Cheng Menjing was directly scared and sat on Xiao Chen's body. Xiao Chen was sat on by Cheng Menjing. Although he felt it was very exciting, Cheng Menjing's whole body weight was on his stomach. He almost vomited. Luckily, I have trained before. Otherwise, wouldn't I vomit blood from being sat on by you? However, Xiao Chen was still very cooperative. He used his vitality to convert a mouthful of blood, and Xiao Chen spat it out directly. Yeah. Cheng Menjing was even more scared out of her wits. Xiao Chen was already out of breath from the fall. In the end, he vomited blood from sitting on me. What should I do? Xiao Chen can't really die. Hey, Xiao Chen, wake up. What's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Xiaochen didn't move. How can I move? Won't I be looking for a scolding if I get up? It's better to pretend to be dead. Xiaochen, you wake up. Cheng Menjing shook Xiaochen's shoulder subconsciously. That, you can touch it if you want. You just need to be alive. Hearing what his mistress said, Xiaochen's heart skipped a beat. However, he knew that Cheng Menjing said that in a moment of desperation. If he really touched it when he was awake, he would probably be dead. Seeing that Xiaochen had no reaction at all, Cheng Menjing was immediately anxious. She picked up the phone and dialed Jean Beibei's number. Well. Cousin Menjing, what are you doing? Jean Beibei's drowsy voice came over. Beibei, where are you? Come here. Cheng Menjing said in a hurry. I'm sleeping. What are you doing here? Jean Beibei asked sleepily. Xiaochen seems to have been kicked to death, or sat to death. Cheng Menjing didn't know when Xiaochen died either. Or, he's not dead yet. Do you have any life-prolonging pills? Give them to me now. My cousin-in-law is dead? Jean Beibei was shocked and immediately woke up. Wait for me, cousin Menjing. I'll fly there. Jean Beibei hung up the phone and directly picked up a small pill bottle in the room, which contained the life-prolonging pill that old Master Jean gave her. She quickly went downstairs, drove her nouveau riche, and sped to Cheng Menjing's villa. On the way, Jean Beibei dialed Cheng Menjing's number again with Bluetooth. Cousin, I'll be there soon. Tell me what exactly happened. What do you mean by, my cousin-in-law was kicked to death and sat to death? It's on the bed, I kicked him and kicked him to the ground. Then, with a thud, I sat on him and made him vomit blood. He stopped breathing. Cheng Menjing didn't explain the cause, she only explained the aftermath. What? Jean Beibei was immediately stunned. Cousin Menjing, are you playing SM? SM? Cheng Menjing was dazed for a moment. Then she sneered, Beibei, don't talk nonsense. Do you know the situation? Then why did you play on the bed? You kicked and sat on him. Cousin Menjing, just admit it. Jean Beibei said with a smile, I know that you are proud and like a queen. It's perfectly normal that you like SM. Besides, Xiaochen is your slave in the first place. What nonsense are you talking about? Jean Beibei, Xiaochen is about to die, and you are still in the mood to joke. Cheng Menjing said angrily. After hearing Cheng Menjing's story, Jean Beibei did not believe that Xiaochen could be dead. Don't worry. My cousin-in-law is a transformer. How could he die? That was a joke. How hard could Cheng Menjing's kick be? Even if she tried her best to sit on Xiaochen's body, how hard could it be? Her cousin-in-law was an expert at catching sharks. If he were to die so easily, he would have been dead a long time ago. Therefore, Jean Beibei felt that there must be more to it than meets the eye, except that Cheng Menjing did not mention it. What transformer? Come and take a look. Cheng Menjing was not in the mood to talk to Jean Beibei. Cousin Menjing, why is my cousin-in-law on your bed? Is there something that you haven't told Beibei? Jean Beibei asked curiously. I wanted to eat instant noodles, so I asked your cousin-in-law to feed me. In the end, he spilled the noodle soup on my chest. I was angry, so I kicked him. Cheng Menjing said. In her anxiety, she had already confused her cousin-in-law. Chapter 227. So, you admit that Xiaochen is your cousin-in-law. Jean Beibei said mischievously, did you spill it on your chest? Did he wipe it off for you? Cheng Menjing didn't explain that he was her cousin-in-law. She only said, he rubbed it. That's why I kicked him subconsciously. He. That explains a lot. Jean Bebe rolled her big, mischievous eyes and confirmed something in her mind. What are you talking about? Bebe, where are you now? Cheng Menjing was very anxious. She felt that Bebe thought she was joking. In fact, Xiaochen was really going to die. I'll be there soon, Jean Bebe said. Okay. I'll wait for you, Cheng Menjing said. As expected, after a short while, the sound of a car came from the yard of the villa. Then, the sound of the door opening and people going upstairs could be heard. Jean Bebe had the key to the villa. Therefore, she ran all the way to Cheng Menjing's room. Cousin Menjing, I'm here. Jean Bebe said in relief when she saw Xiaochen on the ground the moment she entered the room. Bebe, have you brought the life-prolonging pill I asked you to? Cheng Menjing asked. Yes. However, I have a unique skill to treat my cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe glanced at Xiaochen and said mischievously. Unique skill? Cheng Menjing was confused. What unique skill? Cousin-in-law, here comes Bebe's boob push. As Jean Bebe spoke, she was about to lie on Xiaochen's body. Hey, Bebe, what's wrong with you? Xiaochen is already dying. If you press him like this, won't he be crushed to death? Cheng Menjing grabbed Jean Bebe and stopped her from hitting Xiaochen. Don't worry, cousin Menjing. Jean Bebe said with a smile, cousin-in-law, I'm here. No. Helpless, Xiaochen had no choice but to get up from the ground. Although Jean Bebe's words sounded cool. Master Jean was looking for a son-in-law. If he took advantage of Jean Bebe, the unreasonable gold fur lion king would definitely force him to take responsibility. Then, he would be screwed. Although Xiaochen had taken a liking to Jean Bebe recently, he could not marry her just because he liked her. Wouldn't that be giving up the whole forest for a flower? Under Cheng Menjing's astonished gaze, Xiaochen jumped up from the ground and quickly slipped towards the door. Aya, I seem to have fallen asleep just now. My head is so dizzy. What happened? Why can't I remember anything? Sigh, what am I doing here? After saying that, Xiaochen pushed the door open and slipped away, leaving Cheng Menjing, who was dumbfounded, and Jean Bebe, who was smiling in understanding. Xiaochen, come back here right now. Cheng Menjing suddenly realized that she had been fooled by Xiaochen. Then, when she said that she could touch Xiaochen as long as he came back to life, didn't he hear it, too? I'm so angry. How dare you fool me and play dead after touching me? Hee hee. Do you think I'm a pushover? Alright, cousin Menjing, it was just an accident. Besides, I played dead because he cared about you. If it were somebody else, he would have touched you. Why would he be so scared of your anger? Jean Bebe, however, said. Is that so? Cheng Menjing was somewhat happy to hear that Xiaochen cared about her. Hee hee. You finally know how good I am. Touch me. Let's see if you can still flirt with other women. Jean Bebe nodded. Yes. Chances are that my cousin-in-law will ask to remarry me after he returns to the Xiao family. Hee hee. If he wants to remarry me, he can do it. I haven't agreed to it yet. Cheng Menjing snorted. She couldn't help but feel proud. If Xiaochen asked her to remarry him, it would be a great honor for him. He didn't know how to cherish it before. Be careful not to let Tang Tang take advantage of it, Jean Bebe reminded her. What about you? Cheng Menjing suddenly asked, don't you like Xiaochen, too? Me? Cousin Menjing, you can just let me have some soup. I just like to hang out with my cousin-in-law. He suits my taste. In fact, Jean Bebe was mainly with Xiaochen for fun. Screw you. You want to be his concubine? Cheng Menjing rolled her eyes at Jean Bebe. Cousin Menjing, you can't be so stingy, right? You don't even want to share your best sister and best friend? Jean Bebe said with a smile. Suit yourself. But I haven't promised Xiaochen yet. I don't like him at all. I hate him more than anything. So, you don't have a chance. Cheng Menjing said with a smile. It was getting late. Jean Bebe decided not to go back after coming here. They chatted and laughed for a while and then went to bed, ready to sleep. Xiaochen, on the other hand, sneaked back to his room quickly and started decocting the medicinal materials. Today was the last course of treatment for this medicine. He would go to buy more medicine tomorrow. However, Xiaochen still had more than 2 million left from last time. Together with the 10 million that concubine Xie gave him, he had more than enough money to buy the medicinal materials. There was no need to worry about it. However, he had not made a breakthrough after such a long time. Xiaochen was a bit worried about the old witch of West Mountain who was about to fight with him. He had thought that he could make a breakthrough to the 5th level of the qi refining stage, but now it seemed that his wish was a bit slim. After the medicinal materials were decocted properly, Xiaochen took them and started to practice. However, the result was still regrettable. He still did not make a breakthrough. This made Xiaochen disappointed, but at the same time, he was also a little puzzled. Could it be that there was something wrong with his cultivation? Why was it that he could break through very quickly in the past, but only when he was between the 4th and 5th layer of the qi refining stage, he could not break through? He had taken several sets of medicinal materials. If it was in the past, he should have made a breakthrough long ago, right? After exercising and sweating, Xiaochen did not make a breakthrough, so he went to the bathroom to take a shower. However, when Xiaochen was applying bath lotion on his body, Xiaochen's hand inadvertently scratched a jade pendant worn on his neck. The jade pendant actually fell from the red string. Moreover, when Xiaochen pressed it, it broke into pieces. Xiaochen was suddenly stunned. What is this situation? This jade pendant was a very good piece of top-quality jade. When Xiaochen was young, second uncle brought it back when he went out to perform a trial mission. Since then, Xiaochen had been wearing it. Although there was no practical commemorative significance, he heard that a good jade pendant was good for the body. So, Xiaochen had never taken it off. However, how could such a high-quality jade pendant fall to the ground and break into pieces with just a light pressure? How is this possible? Could it be that Cheng Menjing kicked or sat on it before and broke it? Or Shen Jingxian sat on it and broke it? Xiaochen realized that these pretty girls all liked to sit on people's seats. Of course, Xiaochen was just thinking about it casually. It was impossible for them to break it. The jade pendant was hard. It was impossible for them to break it with their strength. Even if this jade pendant did not have any commemorative value, Xiaochen still felt a little heartache when an expensive jade pendant was broken. If this jade pendant were to be sold, it would fetch at least a few million. Spiritual jade? In Xiaochen's ears, there was suddenly a surprised voice from Elder Heaven Ancestor, "You actually have spiritual jade?" Spiritual jade? What is that? Xiaochen was slightly startled and asked. The formation of jade is very complicated. However, from the perspective of cultivation, it can be said that jade is nurtured by the essence of heaven and earth for thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of millions of years. The longer the time, the more spiritual energy in the jade. This kind of jade with high spiritual energy is called spiritual jade. Elder Heaven Ancestor did not hide it and explain directly. Nowadays, most of the time of formation of jade is relatively short. The amount of spiritual energy in the jade is too little, so it can only be called ordinary jade. Then this jade pendant of mine is spiritual jade? Xiaochen roughly understood what Elder Heaven Ancestor meant. Yes, now I finally understand why your cultivation speed is so fast. Elder Sky said, even if you are a genius and have a special mantra, it is impossible for you to cultivate so fast. Now it is easy to explain. That is, you have spirit jades on you. Spirit jades are the best materials to assist in cultivation. Cultivators can absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from them and transform it into their own energy, which is commonly known as true qi. Then my cultivation speed has slowed down recently because the energy in the spiritual jade has been used up? Xiao Chen was a little depressed. Previously, he thought that he was a genius that only appeared once in 10,000 years. In the end, it turned out that it was because he had the spiritual jade to help him cultivate. Now that the spiritual energy in the jade had been used up, he could not continue to break through. It is like this. Elder Heaven Ancestor said with certainty, however, even with the help of the spiritual jade, your cultivation speed is still fast enough. You do not need to be disappointed. Alright, then what should I do next? Get another spiritual jade? After listening to Elder Heaven Ancestor's advice, Xiao Chen was full of confidence. Where? Elder Heaven Ancestor asked. Jewelry, auction. Xiao Chen said, as long as the quality and appearance of the jade are of the highest quality, it will be fine. Yes, but spiritual jade is something that can only be found by chance. It does not necessarily have to be of good quality. Good appearance jade is spiritual jade, but spiritual jade must have good quality and good appearance. Elder Sky said, the jade that has been formed for a short period of time may also be of good quality, and the jade produced in the same mining area may not be formed in the same era, so this thing is almost the same as trying to get lucky. Xiao Chen was slightly surprised and asked, that is similar. How do I distinguish it? Use your hands. Elder Sky said, with your current strength, you won't be able to distinguish it with your eyes and perception. You can only use your hands to sense if there is heaven and earth spiritual qi inside. This is a cultivator's instinct. I don't need to teach you. You'll know when you try. So that is the case. Then I will go research and buy some spiritual jade tomorrow. Xiao Chen found his bottleneck and was very happy. If he had enough spiritual jade, would he be able to quickly upgrade? Chapter 228. One piece of spiritual jade could upgrade 4 times, then 10 pieces of spiritual jade. Xiao Chen was daydreaming, but his thoughts were interrupted by the Elder Heaven Ancestor. What are you thinking about? How can the amount of heaven and earth spiritual qi you absorb in the first level of qi refining stage be the same as that of a 5th level qi refining stage? If you get another piece of spiritual jade, it would be good if you can break through to the 5th level qi refining stage. Moreover, do you think that every spiritual jade is the same as your jade pendant? Xiao Chen listened to the words of the Elder Heaven Ancestor, and suddenly smiled bitterly, as if a bucket of cold water had been poured on him, and he suddenly returned to reality from his fantasy. Then I'll see if I can buy it first. Xiao Chen sighed. It seemed that his previous thoughts were a bit unrealistic, but the road of cultivation was simply burning money. It was not a lie that the 3 generations of cultivation were poor, not to mention the cost of the medicinal herbs. Just the spiritual jade alone was not something that ordinary people could afford. Although the top-quality jade stone might not necessarily be spiritual jade, but the spiritual jade was definitely a top-quality jade stone. You can look at it, but you can't stop your medicinal herbs, you must continue to take them. You have stopped for a day, so the effect is a bit weaker. Cultivation is like rowing a boat against the current. If you don't move forward, you will fall back. The Elder Heaven Ancestor reminded. I understand. Xiao Chen nodded. It was almost time. Xiao Chen washed up and went to the morning street. A new day had begun. Lin's feelings towards Xiao Chen were very complicated. On one hand, she was a bit afraid of Xiao Chen, this hedonistic young master, who did not care about human life at all. On the other hand, Lin was deeply grateful to Xiao Chen. If it was not for Xiao Chen, her innocence would have been ruined. Lin could not imagine, after being humiliated, whether she still had the courage to live. Lin woke up a little later than usual today, probably because she was frightened yesterday. Her parents had already gone to the morning market, but considering that she had been kidnapped, it was normal for her to sleep a lot. Kerlin crawled out of bed in a daze. She packed up and was about to rush to the morning street when a van stopped in front of her house. Today was Sun Rongqing's first day in power. He was very excited. In the past, although he was the eldest grandson of the Sun family, he was an illegitimate child. Sun Yuming recognized him later, so his position in the Sun family had always been awkward. The eldest grandson was not as good as Sun Rongjin. After all, Sun Rongjin was a direct descendant of the Sun family, and old Master Sun had been nurturing Sun Rongjin in the past. After all, Sun Rongqing hadn't been recognized outside, so old Master Sun didn't pay much attention to him. Moreover, even if he came back, old man Sun didn't care too much. He still cultivated Sun Rongjin. This made Sun Rongqing very unhappy, but he couldn't do anything about it. Who asked him to be born in a bad family? His mother was just a feet-washing girl in a nightclub. With this kind of background, he was lucky that he was a boy. If it was a girl, she probably wouldn't have the chance. However, all of this was in the past. He was finally awesome because his two younger brothers were too young. Even if he couldn't take over as the head of the Sun family in the future, he had already taken over the business of the Sun family and the warrior guild. When the time came, he would definitely be an important figure in the Sun family. Where's the woman that my dead brother caught yesterday? Sun Rongqing was a little excited as he sat in the van. This van was transporting the medicinal herbs to the warrior guild. In a while, when the warrior guild opened, he would go look for Medicine Master Sun with red hair. He believed that with Medicine Master Sun as a mole, this batch of medicinal herbs would all be taken by the warrior guild without any accidents. She ran away. After such a big incident yesterday, I didn't have the mood to care about that woman. I heard from young Master Jin's follower, Duo, that she ran away. Red Hair said flatteringly, but that's because young Master Jin didn't have the fortune to enjoy it. That little girl, TSK, that small figure, TSK, I really have nothing to say. Oh? Is that so? Sun Rongqing was a little tempted after hearing this. He had always been enduring in the Sun family. Whatever Sun Rongjin had, he wanted to have too. However, he knew that it was temporarily impossible. Now that he was in a higher position, he also wanted to have the woman that Sun Rongjin wanted. This was actually a kind of almost perverted jealousy. It wasn't that he lacked a woman. It's still early now. Why don't we catch that little girl and find a forest near the warrior guild? It's just the right time for me to have some fun. Sure. Red Hair immediately nodded and said, I know where that little girl's house is. I'll bring young Master Qin to catch her. Okay. Sun Rongqing nodded. Red Hair was secretly happy. He purposely lured Sun Rongqing in this direction. Actually, even if Sun Rongqing didn't take the initiative to ask, he would find an excuse to mention Kerlin. But now, it saved him a lot of trouble. In the end, Red Hair's car directly blocked the door of Kerlin's house. Once Kerlin went out, she was caught in the car. She was really unlucky to be kidnapped for 2 consecutive days. Xiao Chen was frying youtiao on the morning street when he received a call from CFA. Hello, what's the situation? Xiao Chen asked. I didn't expect the Sun family's reaction to be so fast. They asked Sun Rongqing to send the medicinal ingredients to the warriors' market early in the morning. If we let them get ahead of us, then our Xia family's medicinal ingredients will be left with more than half of the unqualified ones. Xia Fei said with some worry. Then, what you mean is for me to stop him on the way to the warriors' guild? Xiao Chen thought for a while and asked. That would be best, but wouldn't it be too troublesome? Xia Fei hesitated for a while and asked. Of course, it won't be troublesome if I take someone's money to get rid of a disaster. Xiao Chen smiled and said, all right, I'll stop him. And then I'll have to trouble you. Sun Rongqin is driving a big van, and the car number is Song EXXXXX. Xia Fei didn't expect Xiao Chen to agree so readily, which made her feel relieved. The Xia family received a report from their informant this morning that Sun Rongqin brought a car full of medicinal ingredients to the warriors' market early in the morning, which made the Xia family very worried. However, the Xia family couldn't do anything. Xia Chaonan could only pin his hopes on Xia Fei and the relationship between Xia Fei and Xiao Chen. He hoped that Xia Fei could persuade the White Fox hero to stop Sun Rongqin early in the morning. In fact, Xia Fei was also a little nervous. After all, Sun Rongqin was on the way to the Warriors Guild. It seemed a little too rushed to ask the White Fox hero to stop him. She didn't know if he could make it in time. However, there was no other way. Xia Fei took the attitude of giving it a try and dialed Xiao Chen's number. Xiao Chen hung up the phone and said to Tang Tang, "Tang Tang, there's something on my friend's side. I have to go first. Is your side okay?" Xiao Chen was a little apologetic. He was focused on making money here, but he left Tang Tang behind. "Of course it's okay. If you have something to do, go ahead. I used to sell it myself, so it's not a big deal." Tang Tang waved her hand and said indifferently. "All right, then I'll go first." Xiao Chen nodded. After saying goodbye to Tang Tang, Xiao Chen quickly left the morning street and went in the direction of the Warriors Guild. Xiao Chen ran all the way to the Warriors Guild. When he found a place where there was no one, Xiao Chen put on the mask and turned into the appearance of the White Fox. At this moment, it was still early, and there was no van in front of the Warriors Guild. In other words, Sun Rongqin should not have arrived yet. Therefore, Xiao Chen simply walked forward and came to the intersection of the road to the Warriors Guild. He waited here for Sun Rongqin's arrival, which was a little like waiting for a rabbit to come to him. There was still some distance from the Warriors Guild, so he would not be discovered during the hijacking. Although Xiao Chen's identity as the White Fox was disguised, he still had an account in the Warriors Guild. If his points were frozen, it would be really bad. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Xiao Chen saw a van with the license plate that Xia Fei mentioned before slowly driving towards him. Xiao Chen quietly prepared to hijack the car. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that the van did not drive in the direction of the Warriors Guild when it reached this intersection. Instead, it turned into a small forest on the right. This made Xiao Chen puzzled. Wasn't this Sun Rongqin's car? Why didn't it go to the Warriors Guild, but the direction of the small forest? Did it go the wrong way, or did it purposely find a place where there was no one else to rob them? Of course, Xiao Chen was just thinking about it. In his opinion, Sun Rongqin was not that stupid. He probably wanted to find a place to relieve himself, right? Xiao Chen followed without batting an eyelid. Sure enough, the van stopped in a dense forest. Then, the door opened, and the red-hair man jumped out of the car. In his hand, he dragged a person out of the car. When he saw this person, Xiao Chen was shocked. Wasn't this Kerlin? Was she kidnapped again? Then, he saw a man who looked similar to Sun Rongqin but was obviously more mature jump out of the car. Young Master Qin, the environment here is not bad. It's very elegant, suitable for a wild fight. Are you satisfied? The red-hair man asked flatteringly. Not bad. However, the ground is a little dirty. Find me a blanket to lay on the ground. Sun Rongqin said. No problem. The red-hair man quickly ran into the car and went to find a blanket. All right, no need to look. Xiao Chen walked over indifferently and said coldly. However, it gave Sun Rongqin, who was about to show off his power, a shock. The red-hair man who was looking for a blanket was also stunned. You? Who are you? The red-hair man asked in shock. You are White Fox. Sun Rongqin recognized Xiao Chen's identity. Previously, White Fox barged into Sun Rongqin's room and interrogated him. After that, the Sun family investigated White Fox. Sun Rongqin had seen the surveillance footage and knew that he was the ruthless person who killed Lu Jianbiao. "You know me?" "That's right, it's me," Xiao Chen said indifferently. Chapter 229. You. What are you doing here? When Sun Rongqin heard White Fox admit his identity, he was so scared that he was sweating profusely. "We have no grudges. The one who has a grudge against you is my younger brother, Sun Rongqin. He is already dead. Someone hired me to protect this girl. You captured her. Tell me, how should I deal with you?" Xiao Chen looked at Sun Rongqin and said coldly, "You have guts, don't you? You dare to capture someone whom I, hero White Fox, want to protect? Didn't you inquire about my name in Songning City? This hero White Fox, I naturally know your name, but we didn't know that this little girl is the person you want to protect. As the saying goes, ignorance is not a crime. Please forgive us." Sun Rongqin was a little panicked. Although he was a martial artist, he was only a stage 2 inner force martial artist. The person in front of him could even kill Lu Jianbiao. How would he dare to act rashly? In fact, Lin had already woken up when she was dragged out of the car, but she didn't scream. She knew her surroundings. This was a small forest. It was useless for her to scream. Instead, it would provoke the criminals to treat her more cruelly. But what Lin didn't expect was that someone would actually come to save her here. And this person seemed to be Xiao Chen. Although Xiao Chen was wearing a mask and his voice had changed, Lin had an intuition that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen. That day, when she saw him with Zhu Yingxiong, she was even more certain of this matter. Moreover, from his figure and clothes, Lin could be sure that this was Xiao Chen wearing a chef's suit. Although paired with the White Fox mask, it was hard for people to associate this snow-white outfit with a chef's uniform. Lin Kur had seen Xiao Chen every day in the morning market. How could she not think of it? Although Lin guessed it, she also understood that Xiao Chen probably wanted to hide his identity, so she didn't expose him. Instead, she quietly lay on the ground and pretended to be unconscious. "You don't know?" Xiao Chen looked at Sun Rongqin coldly. "You think it's fine just because you say you don't know? Haven't you heard of the saying, a thief never leaves empty-handed? I can give you money, yes, I can give you money." Sun Rongqin had just been promoted, and he didn't want to die on the first day because of such a trivial matter. That would be too much of a loss, and he hadn't enjoyed it yet. Therefore, Sun Rongqin's first thought was to buy his life with money. Didn't they say that thieves never leave empty-handed? If I give you the money, you won't be running away empty-handed. Do you have money? How much money do you have? Xiao Chen asked. "I have." Sun Rongqin suddenly thought, where do I have money? He had just been promoted for the first day. He had no money at all. In the Sun family, his status was much worse than Sun Rongqin's. He only had a fixed amount of pocket money every month, and it was squandered by him. How could he have any savings? No money? Then I'm sorry, I can only kill you. Xiao Chen said faintly. Ugh, don't. We have no grievances. To be honest, this little girl, I just want to fulfill the wish of my dead brother. It really has nothing to do with me. Sun Rongqin argued with a sad face, but he was secretly cursing Sun Rongqin for dying a horrible death. He even left a tail behind. He knew that Lin was under the protection of the White Fox hero, but he didn't say anything. He even dared to kidnap her. He was really courting death. Even if he didn't die immediately, he would be killed by the White Fox hero. I can give you an IOU. How much money do you want? Now that I have taken over the Sun family's business, I can definitely get money in the future. A thief never leaves empty-handed. Are you retarded? Have you eaten too many retarded pills? Xiaofan sneered. Today, I want to get something back. Then, this car is not bad. How about I give this car to you first? Sun Rongqin thought about it. Other than this, he really didn't have anything else to give to Xiaofan. He couldn't give it to Red Hair, right? Even if he gave it to him, someone had to calculate it. Oh, okay. Xiaofan pondered for a moment and pretended to nod reluctantly. In fact, he was waiting for Sun Rongqin to say this. If he took the initiative to ask for the car, it would seem a bit strange. However, since Sun Rongqin suggested it, there was no problem. Xiaofan was actually playing with time. He didn't want the Sun family to associate him with the Xie family, and he also didn't want the Sun family to associate Sun Rongqin and Sun Rongqin's death with him. Of course, Sun Rongqin wasn't dead yet. After all, Xiaofan's strength wasn't very strong. He could go around the Sun family for a while. When his strength broke through to the 5th level of the Qi refinement stage, he basically wouldn't have to be afraid anymore. Okay, then help me drive the car to the entrance of the warrior guild. I will unload the things on the car, and the car will be yours. Sun Rongqin saw that Xiaofan agreed and immediately let out a sigh of relief. You still want me to be your driver? You still want the goods? Xiaofan suddenly glared and said, I think you want to die. As he said that, Xiaofan patted Sun Rongqin a few times and said, You are very dishonest. You still dare to order me? I think you should be more careful when you go back. Don't be like your Sun Rongqin and die immediately. Sun Rongqin wanted to cry but no tears came out. He wanted to say that the medicinal ingredients in the car were sent by the Sun family to the warrior guild and were very valuable. However, the more valuable it was, the more the White Fox hero wouldn't let it go. He slightly regretted saying that he wanted to give the car, but in the end, he couldn't go back on his words. Okay, if there's nothing else, I will leave. Before I go back on my words, you better not speak in front of me. Otherwise, I will kill you right now. As Xiaofan said that, he carried Kerlin and placed her in the front passenger seat of the car. Kerlin's body stiffened. She was awake and didn't faint. When she was carried by Xiaofan, it was a conditioned reflex. However, it made Xiaofan stunned. Kerlin woke up. However, he didn't care. He thought that Kerlin was scared by Sun Rongqin. How could he know that Kerlin actually knew his identity? Xiaofan directly got into the car and drove away, leaving Sun Rongqin and Red Hair looking at each other. Xiaofan didn't say that he was targeting the Sun family's medicinal ingredients. Instead, he used Kerlin as an excuse. In other words, it was just a coincidence that the car left. The Sun family wouldn't suspect the Xie family for the time being. Where do you live? I will send you back. Xiaofan's voice was still White Fox's. He asked Kerlin coldly, I was hired by someone to save you, so you don't have to thank me. Lin Kurer suddenly felt that it was a little funny. Xiaofan's cool look was quite convincing, but Lin Kurer already knew his identity. She felt that it was quite funny. I live in the slums. But, I'm studying at Songning City's No. 1 high school, you can send me there directly. She didn't know why Xiaofan didn't reveal his identity, but Kerlin didn't expose him. In fact, Xiaofan felt that the fewer people who knew about this identity, the better. It was fine if Kerlin didn't know. After all, White Fox was a very cold and ruthless character. Along the way, Xiaofan didn't say a word. Kerlin naturally didn't find it appropriate to talk. When they arrived at the entrance of Songning City's first high school, Kerlin got out of the car. Xiaofan drove the car and thought of a solution. This car of medicinal ingredients, where should I go? After thinking about it, Xiaofan could only call CFA. White Fox, how is it? Is there any difficulty? If it's difficult, then forget it. Xiaofan had been waiting anxiously for Xiao Chen's news. Don't be too forceful. If we do, the Sun clan will suspect that it was our Xia clan who did it. I'm afraid they'll disregard the consequences to take revenge. Oh, it's settled. Don't worry, the Sun family won't suspect you in a short period of time. These two incidents can be attributed to coincidence. Xiao Chen said indifferently, by the way, I robbed the Xia family's car of medicinal ingredients. Do you want them? Forget it. Xiaofan hesitated and said, it's best to destroy that car of medicinal ingredients. If it were to flow into the warrior guild from our hands, Medicine Master Sun would probably see the problem at a glance. After all, every clan has a rough estimate of the quality of their medicinal herbs. So that's how it is. Xiao Chen nodded. The warrior market was guarded by Medicine Master Sun, which was a troublesome matter. As long as the medicinal ingredients were sold to the warrior market, Medicine Master Sun would not be able to get past him. He thought he could make some money with these medicinal ingredients. After all, although these medicinal ingredients were not very precious, they were worth tens of millions. Then I'll think of a way myself. For the time being, the Sun family's matter has been settled. If there's any news, let me know directly. Alright, thank you. Xiaofan thanked him solemnly. She did not expect Xiao Chen to be so helpful. In the blink of an eye, it was settled. Although the Xia family also dared to rob, the Xia family had too many flaws. It would not be good if they were caught. The only people that Xiao Chen knew who could dispose of the stolen goods were the Xia family. However, Xiao Chen had a flash of inspiration and thought of a more suitable pharmacy. However, he did not know if that pharmacy could handle so many goods. Naturally, Xiao Chen thought of the pharmacy that he usually bought medicinal ingredients from. That pharmacy had such a complete range of medicinal ingredients. They should also purchase these more expensive medicinal ingredients. It was just that the amount of medicinal ingredients in the car was a little too much. However, it was always good to give it a try. Otherwise, it would be useless for Xiao Chen to keep so many medicinal ingredients. With this thought in mind, Xiao Chen directly drove to the pharmacy. After parking the car in front of the pharmacy, Xiao Chen got out of the car. At the counter of the pharmacy, there was still a young girl reading a book. However, based on the young girl's attire and Xiao Chen's intuition, this person should still be Hongzhu and not Hong Yan. As expected, the moment Xiao Chen entered the door, Hongzhu's enchanting voice rang out. Handsome, why didn't you come last night? Shouldn't you be here to buy medicinal ingredients last night? You made this little sister wait for you all night, but you didn't come to chat with this little sister. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.